Good evening, my darling batlings. I hope everyone's had a good night and a good day overall. Good afternoon. I'm kind of out of it. I'm joined tonight by JKR and Niko Belmont.
Wolf.
Wolf.
Wait, that's the wrong thing. I don't know. It's a hard one.
Anyways, tonight we're playing Castlevania Lords of Shadow because I've only got 2 streams that I'm able to do this week. So I'm starting my long in planning Castlevania retrospective, going through it in whatever the fuck order I want to, basically. I figured we'd start off with Lords of Shadow, because why not? Dare I say why not? There's only 3 games in the saga, it won't take that long.
Yeah.
And I'm going to have Niko along for as many of these Castlevania streams as we can schedule together, because he is the resident Castlevania expert. If you're talking, we can't hear you. Hey, Lulu. Oh shit, he's gonna die a lot.
Hello?
Hello.
Hey, y'all.
Sorry. Forgive my headset, guys. It's a bit weird, but no, also, the Lords of Shadow thing being long is debatable. That depends. Are you finding every single upgrade and treasure, or are you just going straight through?
I'm just going straight through. Why would I go 100% if it doesn't get me a different ending?
Fair enough, yes. I'm just saying because, like, some of the other bosses can be very annoying, but I'm sure you'll do fine.
Yeah. Plus, I'm just gonna be playing on the normal difficulty for all of these, mostly because you have to beat the game to unlock hard mode.
Well, you could technically play on hard. The only mode that unlocks when you beat the game is Paladin, which
that's what I meant.
Yeah, you should be fine then. I mean, even on
Thanks for the 32-month in a row subscription, JKR. Sorry, 32 months total, 23 in a streak.
But no, I will definitely do my best to help guide you through some of the Vanias. Definitely, because I know you've played a few.
Yeah, I played all of the Lords of Shadow games. I've beaten NES Castlevania 1. I've beaten Rondo of Blood, both Dracula X Chronicles and original version. And I've extensively played Symphony of the Night.
Yeah. I will say this, though. I will make this a rule for myself, though, for this when I'm with you on streams. If there is an extra mode that is locked behind a certain ending, I'm not going to tell you what to do to get certain endings or whatever you get. If I tell you that's not the real ending, then I will be like, hey, buddy, go back in.
Right. And I'm going to be including Bloodstained Ritual of the Night as part of this Castlevania retrospective, considering it just got a sequel announced not too long ago.
Yeah, I'm excited for that one. I would say do Circle of the Moon, but Circle of the Moon 1 and 2 is very different. Doing the canon ending.
Yeah, it takes multiple playthroughs if I remember correctly.
Place your bets. How many times
an
ally will die?
How many times will I die?
He'll do fine.
I'll be fine. Sure after all, you can't kill what is already dead on the inside.
Yeah, I mean fair, but no. Because with Circle of the Moon, it's more, you have to beat the game with all 4 people recruited, and then afterwards you have to go through the game again, fighting one of your allies as the main villain.
Right. Anyways, let's switch on over to the gaming screen.
Yep.
And get the game booted up. And probably have to turn down the volume some, because the opening splash screen is very loud.
Are you sharing screen, or what are we?
It's through my camera input.
Oh, okay. Oh, I could hear the game, so I could just tell where you are then.
Yeah, you can always hear my game. Okay, I'll hydrate. Don't know why the screen's don't know why the screen's a little bit pillar boxed on OBS. Let me fix that.
Castlevania, Lords of Shadow.
You're very staticky, Niko.
I know. The reason why is I tried looking for another headset earlier. My brother couldn't find his spare. Again, this headset is hanging off of one wire. So in order for it to even work, I have to hold down the mute button halfway.
Okay.
Ooh.
So if you hear static, I do apologize again for this.
All right.
That's fine.
And also,
You make do with what you got.
Yep, and then also, yeah, for Lords of Shadow, if those don't even know, in terms of the timeline, if I mind dropping a little history, if that's okay, Ari.
Yeah, that's fine.
Lords of Shadow isn't of the canon timeline, but of a separate one. This
Yeah, it was kind of seen as a sort of a reboot.
It's a retelling.
Yeah.
For this one, I believe it does take place similarly 1094 era, but instead we follow one of I count him as one of my ancestors, even though it's a separate timeline. Gabriel.
Yep.
And we are going to witness his story unfold before us, and it should be interesting. And I have not played this game since, I want to say, I haven't played it since, I think 2014, 2015, when I did a complete 100% run on Paladin.
A storm is coming. Mankind faces ruin and despair. The world is changing. Yet
Despair? I didn't think we were going to bring Monokuma into this.
we go about our daily lives
Ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba.
Thought we weren't going to bring Sephiroth into this despair.
Oblivious, ignorant.
The year is 1047.
1040, yeah, so roughly the same.
Yeah.
1047.
It's still the same era.
The beginning of our journey together. A journey into darkness, into madness.
And I'm not going to be skipping over these narrations by Sir Patrick Stewart. One, because he has a very nice voice, and two, because they provide a lot of like outsider context to Gabriel's actions that we don't see necessarily in game.
I was going to say, yeah, please, when you play these games, do not skip lore. The lore is good.
Yeah, there's a lot of like in-game codex stuff as well that adds a lot of world building.
Fun fact about that, in the well, it's not this game, but I believe one of the Lords of Shadow games, there is actually a Nintendo reference to one of the bodies you can find in terms of the codex.
This game also has I know this game has a reference to both Portal and the Angry Video Game Nerd.
Yeah, there's also in the Nintendo one for Mirror of Fate, there's a reference to Mario.
Right, because it was originally a Nintendo 3DS exclusive.
Yeah, it was a reference to like them hinting that the guy was supposed to be like, I think like a reference to Luigi or something.
Yeah.
I don't remember. Also, Patrick Stewart was so good in this game.
The Castlevania nerd.
Yes, he is. And we love him for that.
Well, it doesn't help the fact that I played practically all the games and did a deep, intense look in the lore.
You've even played both of the arcade games. I
did, and I even played, actually, funny thing, the last time I played Castlevania the arcade, I actually went through a no-hit run.
Nice.
And never again. That killed my arm.
I can't imagine doing a no-hit run of a rail shooter. That sounds like hell.
You think the bosses would be the problem, but no, it's all the smaller enemies.
It usually is.
Well, yeah, especially since bat swarms, if you're not careful with how you place your attacks, you will get hit even if you hit them.
Like, I remember showing the 360 version of Lords of Shadow 1 to one of my friends in high school when she came over to visit. And she thought that Gabriel Belmont was the sexiest man she had seen in a video game.
I will say this: Gabriel is he looks very awesome in this game. I will not lie. He has a really, like, the Brotherhood of Light armor looks very sick.
Yeah.
Like, I actually, because at one point I did want to make that armor. Unfortunately, they had a cosplay commission for $500 because apparently at the time there wasn't many of this outfit. So I was just like, I had to pass on it, sadly.
Yeah, I've thought about cosplaying Gabriel Belmont over the years. One of the questions is, like, which outfit to do without getting into spoilers.
Yeah.
But
I
like
mean, over time we learn about it. So
yeah.
All right, time to kill some wargs, or rather the werewolves.
The werewolves. The warg is the boss of this stage.
Yeah. Yeah, so basically we're just hunting lichens right now.
Yes, they don't call them werewolves in this game. They call them lichens.
Yeah.
Same difference.
So, there is a little bit of a difference. Werewolf is more full on, like, your typical, like, full on dog, like beast man, dog creature.
Which is what the lichens in this game is.
Yeah, well, lichens have a little more of, instead of that long, like, werewolf snout or, like, muzzle, it's more along the lines of
Universal's Wolfman.
Yeah, more human features, but just a lot of fur.
Yeah.
Well, in this game, they're portrayed to look like the former rather than the latter.
Well, that's why they refer to them as lichens.
Yeah.
By the way, how are you liking this?
Oh God. This is bringing back memories. I'm gonna say that much.
All right, time to spend experience points as the game doth command.
Also, a good thing to know, and I'm pretty sure you know this, but to those at home, if you're gonna get far in this game, perfect guarding is your best friend.
Yes,
because
it's just it hasn't. It's one of those weird tutorials where it's one of those weird tutorials where, like, you can't guard until it tutorializes the guard.
Yeah, but basically, to put it into layman's terms, perfect guarding in this game, if you do it correctly, will build up a certain meter that we'll get into once it happens. But there is a trick in this game where you can loop a perfect guard into another, and going into your attacks and going back into a guard, you can flawlessly, like, kill things without getting hit. It's just don't try it with magic, though.
Right.
Magic will not help you. If you do that with magic, you're going into the ground. I'm sorry.
Oh no, this attack is unblockable. Good thing I can dodge now.
I can dodge.
Piccolo would be so happy.
Magic must defeat the magic.
In this case, it's holy magic and whips and chains.
Well,
and daggers.
Holy magic and yeah, holy magic, pretty much. Unfortunately, in this game, holy magic is very underwhelming.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it fits in with the idea. It fits in with the idea of white magic being more defensive and healing based.
Well, yeah, but I'm talking about a certain ability my family is known for.
Yeah. Which I don't think is really much of a thing in this entry.
It is, it's just...
It's kind of, but not really. It's more optional.
It's an optional effect, yeah, but if anything, it's less of a nuke and more so, like, I guess making a personal sunrise happen.
Yeah, it's not a screen nuke like any of the item crashes are.
Yeah.
Who are you?
I am Gabriel. I have traveled here seeking the Guardian of the Lake.
Also, reminder, because Stream Elements bot is posting it for me, reminder that I currently have a promotion going on with Honkai Star Rail, where if you use the code that keeps popping up in chat, you sign up through that on the PC version of Honkai Star Rail, I get a little kickback from that for every person that signs up. And starts a new game on there.
At least it's not Raid Shadow Legends.
I will never take an offer from Raid Shadow Legends. Honkai Star Rail, for those that are somehow unaware, same developers as Zenless Zone Zero. So if you like Zenless Zone,
clear.
Yes, it is.
Sorry.
If you like Zenless Zone
go
Zero,
ahead.
you'll probably like Honkai Star Rail. And I am going to be streaming Honkai Star Rail at some point in the coming month as part of my sponsorship deal. It'll be my first time checking it out, because I've never played it before.
The old forest, watching him from afar. He is
Sorry, my mom's been in the room with me for like the past half hour.
It's okay.
You're
We haven't even been live for a half hour.
Oh no.
I'm just saying, like, she's been in the room for that much
Oh,
amount
okay.
of time, and she just left.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, this is the level where you have to fight the Wolf Riders.
dreams that gnaw at his
Riders, eh?
That's not what I'm saying. Oh, about I'm thinking. Are you about to get yourself a pet spooter?
He knows the dream.
No, not this stage.
And though he fears nothing
Oh.
on this earth,
That's not for a while.
his nightmares sap
Hey, Chuck. How you doing?
and leave a cold
Hello.
grip on his heart.
Hey, Chuck.
Shadow Dragon, hello. How are you doing? The whole gang's showing up.
Hey, Shadow.
Been in disuse, but for now, he
But no, I know the spider happens it's stage 3 or 4. I think.
It's like stage 4 or 5, I think, because remember you have to get the upgrade for the whip that lets you wrangle enemies in the
that.
first place.
Yeah, it's like stage 4. I know it's like very early in the game.
Yeah, but I say not for a while because the stages do go on for a bit.
motivates a man.
Yeah.
Lest we forget. Where there's a whip, there's a way.
Exposed
We don't
know
want to
this
go
very
to
well,
war
so-
today, but the Lord of the Lash says nay, nay, nay.
I don't know how to feel about this.
Oh,
Speaking
if there-
from
Oh, we got a ghost. If there is something strange in your neighborhood.
Oh,
What about
Christ.
Lulu? Lulu didn't feel like joining on tonight, but she's in chat.
Lulu will be in chat tonight. I don't think she was up to doing it today.
I asked her if she wanted to join in on commentary tonight. She said no, but she'll be in chat.
Which, by the way, give a lot of love to Lulu. Head pats all around.
Doing fine, though. I'm gonna have one of my teeth extracted by this Wednesday, so wish me luck by then. Best of luck. I've had a lot of dental appointments myself lately. Also, that is not a kitty. That is a horse.
I wasn't doing it for the kitty.
I think
Jake. Horse,
Jake was gonna petting Lulu.
Yeah, it's the closest thing. It's the closest thing I have to petting a dog.
Knowing my luck, Lulu will probably just come in and just say hello through my mic in one way, shape, or form.
She is prone to doing that. Either doing that or coming in and shouting "ah woo" or "mur."
One of the three, yeah.
Yes, not just a
speaking of
horse,
that,
a talking horse, a talking glowing horse with a Spanish accent.
So it's not Mr. Ed.
No, it's not Mr. Ed. Mr. Ed is not Spanish.
Nope.
When you say talking horse, you make me think of BoJack Horseman.
I mean,
And
that's
I
a
don't
different
know why.
that's a different kind of talking horse. That's a talking horse with crippling depression. And that's a different kind of horse entirely.
Nice, a horse.
All right, we got
Yes,
the perfect
exactly.
block.
Yep.
Which,
Perfect
like you
blocking.
Perfect
Oh,
blocking
sorry.
is so overpowered in this whole trilogy.
Being overpowered doesn't describe it. Like, again, if you chain perfect blocks, you can pretty much hitless run any enemy or boss.
Yeah.
Just so long as you are quick on the timing and so long as you know the combo you're going to do beforehand.
I think I just might have missed out on a life gem, but oh well. I can always come back and get it. I always
just going on the.
I always forget where the life gem in this stage is. Because it's one of the few stages where you can't just explore from beginning to end.
Yeah, if you're playing this, pro tip for anyone who hasn't played this yet, if they wanted to try it out, if you're playing this for the first time, I would just go through it normally, then worry about getting collectibles like on a second playthrough.
Yeah, especially because there's a lot of collectibles that you have to get on revisits.
Yeah, and since he's playing on normal, the battle it's not going to be that difficult to where he desperately will need upgrades. Like if he perfect blocks correctly. I also remember that when you use your whip on response, it does extra damage.
Yes, it does. That's the entire point of perfect blocking, is that it throws the enemy off balance and lets you get in some stronger than normal hits.
Yeah, and there's a combo that you can get in the game that basically turns the whip into like a buzzsaw chain blade.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. There's two variants of it. One for like right now I'm just using your straight attacks, but we've also got area attacks. That's a lot of people say this is just like God of War in terms of gameplay. No, it's got some differentiation. Like God of War doesn't really have straight and area attacks. It's more light, your traditional light and heavy.
Yeah, God of War, it has some, like, resemblance to God of War, but if anything, I feel like it's more Lament of Innocence, just a bit more free roam.
Yeah, and Lament of Innocence was more Devil May Cry.
Yeah, so I guess you could say...
I would also say, that's also, like, a lot of people are like, oh, such and such is a God of War clone. I'm like, well, God of War started as a Devil May Cry clone.
I mean, either way, if it works, it works. So.
Yeah, I'm not against something being a clone. That's not necessarily a knock against it. What matters is whether it pulls it off well.
Yeah, I mean, with Castlevania, like, doing a 3D Vania, like, the 2D Vanias are what people consider to be the true masterpieces, but with Symphony of the Night, it was more straightforward, and it's like, now it's like, it's hard, like, Symphony of the Night, like, elevated it to a whole new level.
Yeah.
And then when they did 3D Vanias, there were not a lot of good ones, but at the same time, again, it's hard to determine, like, what you would like in a 3D Vania. It just depends on what you're looking for and what play style you want.
Yeah, I would love to see Konami try and revisit the idea of a 3D Castlevania, except, maybe with, the hindsight of what worked and what didn't out of their previous 3D attempts. Something more explorative, like Lament of Innocence and Curse of Darkness, but with the better combat of Lords of Shadow.
Yeah, for me, in my opinion, Bloodborne, was the closest I was gonna fucking get to a new 3D Castlevania.
I can see why. I haven't played much of Bloodborne, but I can totally see why.
I love Bloodborne just as much as Castlevania, to the point.
Tomorrow we'll get you some cheap headset.
Lulu, did you hear what? Hold on, we gotta wait for the pizza song to finish. Cheesy on my beanie and some sauce on my balls.
Real question. I also did heard what Lulu said, and it's up to you, huh? It's up to you, Lulu. I'm not gonna. Oh,
That was a bit
God.
delayed. If all else fails, I've got a couple spare headsets around here I'm not using that I could send your way that are wireless.
Oh, that would be appreciative too.
I just
Also,
don't know if they work with Xbox is all.
Don't worry, I'll figure something out. But also, real question before we continue. This is in the 10th century. Did pizza even exist then?
This wasn't the 10th century. This was the 9th century.
Well, 9th. Yeah, 9th. Sorry, but
actually, no, 11th century.
Yeah, I was gonna say because in the late
I'm forgetting how time
it
works,
was-
but then again, as I've said many times before, time is not a line. It is made out of circles. That is why clocks are round.
Then again, timelines in Castlevania's universe is just as similar to a vampire killer whip. It's long and never ending.
And that's without factoring judgment into it.
Ironically, Judgment somehow like a lot of their endings are canonically part of the timeline.
A lot of their endings are canonically part of the timeline because it talks about stuff they went on to do after Judgment happened instead of as a result of Judgment.
The only ending that is not canon, I don't believe, is one is Golems, the other is Aeon.
Yeah.
I miss Aeon.
I'd love to see Aeon get like a proper appearance in a good game. Because he's an interesting character that they just never revisited.
In my opinion, I feel like he was like the student of Saint Germain.
Yeah, a lot of people think that he's paired up with Saint Germain somehow, but we never really got an answer on that. And it would also be nice to see him be redesigned a bit to look more Castlevania-y instead of the very out there art style that Judgment had.
I mean, nothing wrong with Aeon's design. It looked pretty cool, but
it looks great in context of Judgment's art style. But if you were to put him next to like mainline Alucard
mainline Castlevania
or like Soma Cruz or Simon Belmont, he would look
like
very out
gothic.
of place.
Like a little more gothic and gothic horror and less
anime. Much less anime.
Yeah, pretty much. But no.
Something it took me a little bit to realize about interacting with the dead bodies in this game, when like you find the life gems and the scrolls, is like, because I didn't grow up Catholic, he's doing like the cross sign.
Oh, the symbol of the cross?
The symbol of the cross as he approaches their bodies.
Yeah,
I didn't grow up in. I have Catholic family, but they live very far away, so I haven't had much exposure to like Catholic traditions.
Yeah.
So a lot of that stuff I never really knew about.
Well, just like more along the lines, it's just respecting the dead that have fallen. Because again, when you hunt vampires or any kind of demon or creature of the night, you have to remember, not all of them have originally started as a vampire, a werewolf, or another creature. They have originally also may have been human at one point, so you have to understand they become the men or women they once were.
Did you subscribe again, JKR?
My subscription ran out just a few minutes ago, so...
so you subscribed 2 times in one night.
I mean...
I think Twitch is having a stroke.
It's okay, Twitch. Take some time, drink some water.
All right, time to fight the goblins. I don't like goblins. I've seen what they do in Goblin Slayer. It's not nice.
I mean, you don't like a little gobbo. You don't like a little gobbo.
Well, I like Honey Goblin. Honey Goblin's cute.
Look, here's the thing. Speaking of goblins, when I did D&D with a couple of friends one time, one of them made the joke like, hey, what if we gave a goblin or Fleeman a punt gun? I'm like, you're going to launch that thing off the map.
Oh, yeah. I'm glad you brought up punt guns. They're one of my favorite historical oddities in terms of gun design. They weren't meant to be, like, wielded by human hands. They were meant to be mounted on boats.
I just find it like the thought funny that a flea man or like a goblin firing a punt gun launches them off of a cliff.
If you guys don't know what a punt gun is, imagine a shotgun. Now imagine it's as big as a person.
Yeah. And just imagine the kickback of a shotgun, except amplified.
And the whole reason that punt guns were made was for hunting ducks. Yeah, it's basically that, except... Now imagine the Doomslayer using a punt gun.
I was gonna say, hunting ducks, we had an NES zapper for that one.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, it didn't have the kick.
Yeah. Have you ever seen a Famicom zapper?
I have, yes.
If you guys haven't seen what the Japanese equivalent to the NES zapper is, it just looks like a revolver. It just looks like a Colt single-action army.
Yeah. I mean,
I'll be right back, Middleton. I understand there's a package waiting for me.
Okay.
Go forth, get your loot.
I like the, the whispering of the voices of the dead bog as an ambient sound instead of, like, having a proper stage theme a lot of the time in this level. The dead bog's one of the cooler places, even though you only spend one level in it.
Yeah, Castlevania Lords of Shadow has a atmosphere sounds.
Okay, now you're back. But yeah, yeah, you're here. Lords of Shadow does a great job at, like, while you don't spend much time in a castle in the first Lords of Shadow, or even the second Lords of Shadow, now that I think about it, it does a great job at, like, fleshing out the world of, that takes place in. You spend more time in, like, the outlying forests and villages and mountains and stuff, as opposed to strictly being in the castle or in the outskirts of the castle.
Well, yeah, Curse of Darkness does that too.
I've got an interesting version of Curse of Darkness lined up for stream eventually, which is, it came out on Xbox.
Yeah, it came out on Xbox and PlayStation 2.
Since my PS2 is a little bit jank at the moment when it comes to running discs, I might go with the Xbox version just because I've got that modded to play on the hard drive.
I'm going to give you a fair warning about the Xbox version. There's a mechanic in the game that you do. It'll get a little wonky on one boss, but other than that, you should be all right.
Yeah, to my knowledge, Konami's like cross-platform ports from like PS2 to Xbox tended to be like okay, with the exception of Metal Gear Solid 2 being particularly bad.
Yeah, but no, Lord of Shadow has a lot of good atmospheric sound, a lot of ambiance. It is a very good game that, in that sense as well.
It's a very good game in general. It's just people hated on it at the time because it wasn't.
It wasn't Vania. It wasn't like actual.
It wasn't much. It didn't feel much like a Castlevania in terms of its gameplay, but it has, in my opinion, Castlevania vibes in terms of its world.
I mean, I have no problem with the Lord of Shadow series, but I will say this though: an interesting fact. In this game, they do remix one song from Super Castlevania 4.
And, they also use Vampire Killer in one part, as is contractually obligated for every Castlevania game.
Well, yeah, because that song is literally what Castlevania is known for. But what I liked in this game was the use of the... if you played Castlevania 4, there's a level, the third level in the game.
I played the first couple levels of Castlevania 4. I haven't dedicated much time to it.
It is a underground waterway, like you climb a waterfall or something.
I think I played that one. It's been a bit.
The music in that one is amazing. If you haven't heard it, go check it out. But the music, they remixed that song in this game and one of the later stages. And when I heard it for the first time, like holy shit, I couldn't, like, they did an orchestrated, like an orchestral, like, remix of the song. It's very subtle, so it doesn't like get in the way of the ambience, but it's just right to where you can hear it. Like there's something following you in this area.
Because the level themes in this stage outside of combat tend to be very subtle. When they get more intense and I wouldn't say overpowering, but you know what I mean. When you're in combat.
Yeah, I mean, in combat, not a lot of things get overpowered. I mean, if anything, the bosses are the main things in the game that are like remotely difficult. I mean,
no, I'm talking about I'm talking about in terms of sound design.
Oh, sound design. No, sound design in this game. It doesn't really get too intense. I can only think of like one or two places that it does, but other than that, this game is like pretty chill and just like a lot of good like this game is like a treat to hear.
Yeah,
especially if you have like headphones on or surround sound. Like it is.
It also looks great for a late era PS3 and 360 game. Like, granted, I'm playing the PC version, so it's gonna look and run a little better. Like it's backwards compatible on modern Xboxes, and you can stream it on PlayStation Plus.
Yeah, I remember pre-ordering this at GameStop. I actually got the special edition because I was hyped for it.
Yeah,
I think I still have the T-shirt, my Lords of Shadow T-shirt I got from that special edition. It doesn't fit me anymore, sadly, but
I didn't pre-order this one, but I did pre-order Lords of Shadow 2.
See, 2 I only got to play when my best friend from Colorado came out. I was getting him into Castlevania, and he was getting more into it. And then he brought over Lords of Shadow 2 for me to try. I almost beat it, but unfortunately he had to go home.
Right.
And I'm like, it's all right. But other than that, though, from what I played, it was really fun. It's just there are certain things I do have a gripe about that I will not get into until we get into Lords of Shadow 2.
I have some thoughts on Lords of Shadow 2. I have a lot of thoughts on it. But granted, I haven't replayed it from start to finish since it came out. So revisiting it for this retrospective could change some of my thoughts on it.
Yeah.
I'm back, by the way.
Welcome back.
Hi, welcome back.
You're not back, you're
So
JKR.
Package, funny. But the package that came in was my new flag.
Oh, nice.
Ooh,
I know you've been wanting to fly your freak flag. It is still technically Pride Month, after all.
Yeah, I think it is for another couple days or so.
Nah, for another couple hours. Pride Month is June.
Yeah,
Today's the last day of June.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Don't forget about Pride Month. Next tomorrow we start Wrath Month.
Yes, we're gonna have a whole year of the cardinal sins, which is gonna be weird because there's only 7, and there's 12 months, so we're gonna have some repeats and some crossover.
Yeah. Yes, but the flag is my Eggman of Chicagoland flag. It just came in. It actually looks really nice. I like it.
Nice.
I'll take photos in a little bit and then put them, in the server.
Like Shadow Dragon, I vehemently disliked Lords of Shadow 2 when it came out because it was the first case I had of being super hyped for a game and actually pre-ordering it with my own money and then being really let down.
That was similar to how I was. I mean, I didn't. Again, I only played it when my friend brought it over. But in my opinion, to me, 2 is the least favorite out of all the ones that I.
2
played.
is everyone's least favorite for a lot of reasons. There's a lot of things that are better about it, but there's a lot of things that counteract that by being worse.
The mechanics of the game or whatever isn't my issue. My only issue is just like, how do I even say it to where it's not even spoilers?
The narrative's very underwhelming.
Well, narrative, yes, but it's more along the lines of when you're fully upgraded.
Yeah, it commits
like,
the cardinal sin of like having moments where you're helpless against enemies that you cannot stand up against. And like normally in a game design scenario like that, in a game where you're like gradually upgrading yourself, you're going to have a moment of catharsis where you can finally take down those big brute enemies that stonewalled you the first, like, throughout the game. Yeah. And Lords of Shadow 2 commits the cardinal sin of never giving you that chance.
Yeah, because I mean, to be fair, here's the thing.
Like, without getting into spoilers, the best I can compare it to as, like, well, actually, from the same developer, Mercury's team, is imagine if, like, in Metroid Dread, in the sections where you have to hide from and, you know, sneak around the Emmy robots, imagine if you never got to destroy them.
Another
example, the whole game, as you were getting stronger and stronger, they were always just completely unfazed by everything you did and would just like one hit kill you. That's what Lords of Shadow 2 does.
Yeah, for me, the reference I would have made was the Legacy of Kain game, Blood Omen.
I've never played Blood Omen. Well, I played a bit of Blood Omen, but I haven't played the other Legacy of Kain games, so I don't have that as a point of reference. But go ahead.
Yeah, if you played at least the first one, then then this shouldn't be a problem. But
I played a little bit of the first one. I'm still in the opening of it.
Okay. Well, yeah, because the beginning part is just the main issue, but it's basically like that. You start off very, very weak, and eventually you have to learn how to be what you are. And then eventually it comes to a point where you become so powerful, you could take on almost anything, if anything at all. And just imagine that, but then they're like, oh, hey, all that power means nothing, and you can't really do much against anything anymore.
Yeah.
That's how I felt. That's how I really felt. And it just made me disappointed because in Castlevania, when you get stronger, they make you feel like you've earned that strength because it's like you worked hard to either get like a powerful weapon or increase your magical strength or overall just made yourself more skillful in terms of combat.
Yeah. It's also a case of like it underperformed commercially because it came out like right when the PS4 and Xbox One were getting ready to come out, so like nobody was focusing on PS3 and 360 anymore.
Yeah.
And like it had apparently a pretty troubled, tumultuous development, and it brings up the sort of what if question of like, what if instead of targeting it for PS3 and 360 when it was going to come out in 2014, like why not just make it a PS4 and Xbox One title?
I think it would have done better because not only graphically, like it would be enhanced, but there would be a lot more they could work on, and then I think it would have had a better, it would have been received better.
Yeah. Yeah, I have to agree on that.
Also, that waterfall sound, dude, like the ambience in this game.
This like panning shot of like the waterfalls and the ruins and like how everything's just coated in mist and you see like the roots of these gigantic trees coming out. God, the set designs are so pretty.
Yeah, like honestly, like this is the kind of world I would see like anyone exploring. Like even in a world as dangerous as this, like you could even see a brief moment of like reprieve, like enjoy the surroundings before you have to go into a fight.
Oh yeah, I like that it gives you some downtime in between fights to just explore. That's where the Vania part of it really comes in, even if it's, you know, more God of War in its execution, where it's like just go off the beaten path to find like health and magic upgrades.
Yeah,
So-
I mean, game mechanic wise, yeah, but in terms of like how the game actually is in terms of exploration, like this game can stand on its own. Like
Yeah.
I can officially say that this game, like I've even listened to the soundtrack and some of the ambience when I've done like some drawing or whatever, and it's very relaxing. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Oh, yeah. I also like how they carried in some of the Super Castlevania 4 with using the whip as a tool instead of just a weapon.
How did I get this disease?
Well, yeah, because originally in
What are my
4,
treatment options?
reason why, well, for example, reason why 4 was my. I'll wait till this is passed.
You may be entitled to financial compensation.
I sure hope so. Anyway, but no, the reason why I like 4 is because over like I like 4 with Symphony being a close second. The reason why is in 4, you are not handicapped at all. Like control in that game is very good. You're able to whip in all 8 directions. You are able to duck and move. You're able to throw your sub weapons on a separate button, which was very nice. And your whip was more than just a weapon. It did a lot more. You can swing, you can hang, you can strategically place it somewhere, and
You can dangle the whip as a way to act as sort of like a rudimentary shield.
Yeah, and it did really well. You can even deflect magic. It deflect certain spells and magic, which they force upon you in the final battle. And like, it's just if you fuck up in that game, then it's your fault. There's not a lot of cheap shots in 4. I mean, there are some, but again, it's just more your skill against the game than just like straight up leveling up and finding upgrades.
Right.
Forgotten by men, this kingdom was once revealed.
Like that's why I like 4, because 4 probably being one of my all-time favorite Castlevanias next to the first one and Lament.
The amulet of the master. Its journey is almost over. He will have all his strength now, all his wits. If he is to succeed here, if he is to convince the old god to help him.
Oh god, we're dealing with the old gods. Hopefully we don't unleash Cthulhu.
He's not exactly an old god.
I
don't know all my HP Lovecraft stuff, okay? I haven't read anything of his.
I could technically think of one creature in this game that surpasses Cthulhu.
Yeah, that's in the
during
DLC.
spoilers. So you're not going to play DLC, right?
I am. It sets up the next game in the saga, so of course I'm going to.
Okay, then I will not say what the creature is, because that creature also shows up in Layman.
Yeah, as a bonus boss.
Yeah, bonus boss, right. He's a pain in the ass, but like I said, we will talk about him when we get there. But for now, it's just we're taking this journey.
Let's see. But yeah, I can think of a couple of old gods on par with Cthulhu, if not surpassing him.
Aegon?
No, I was going to say Tren Crom.
I like your funny words, Magic Man.
Oh, God.
You know, just for good measure, Makuta, because yes.
Which Makuta?
The Makuta.
I want to make a joke with that name, but I'm not going to do it because, one, it is very obvious.
Makuta Matata?
Yeah.
What a wonderful phrase.
I mean, it means no worries. Plus, the sound effects in the background of the game actually fit it. There's that Castlevania 4 music, a little bit of it.
Okay.
It's supposed to be one of the undertones in the underground waterfall.
Alright, I'm gonna try not to spend too much time on this rune puzzle, especially since I have the solution. Because we're gonna see some fairy titties.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, and some fairy ass. I'm gonna try and get through this as quick as I can so Twitch doesn't get mad at me.
Hello?
I mean, fair enough. Either that or I'm pretty sure
There we go, I solved it.
I was gonna say between me and you, JKR, which one? Aren't you more skilled in magic than I am, or?
He has no hands.
Oh.
He is a bomb.
We could just put JKR's image over the over it as a sensor.
Okay, but like, have you ever tried to motion track something live? Although
No,
to be
I
fair,
have not,
to be fair, I do have a mod installed for this that affects a certain demon that we encounter by just straight up like covering up her tatas.
Yeah, like she just shows up straight up.
Yeah.
Straight up booba. Yeah.
Yeah.
Unfortunately for her, she is one of the most useless upgrades in the game.
Yeah, because there's never an opportunity where you want to use her.
Well, it's not even just that. It's like she's good at clearing out massive rooms, but the thing is, you need her crystal for a puzzle, and if you try to use her in a boss fight,
like any level where it gives you regular access to the crystal you need to summon her, it's required for progression. So you shouldn't use her.
It's not only that. It's just if you also have her happily in a boss fight, apparently all bosses heal or resist her ability.
Yeah.
So it's because her attack counts as dark magic, and creatures of dark magic and abandoned holy energy or magic or whatever can resist it. So there's no point in using it.
Also, I like Pan in this game. He's just
Pan
a cool
isn't
dude.
good.
He's a cool dude.
Pan's a chill guy. He's like a guy you can he's a guy you can chill with in a tree or something.
He reminds me. He kind of reminds me of Yoda with like his cryptic guidance.
He reminds me a mix of Yoda and Oogway.
Yoda, if he were more proactive instead of, like if instead of parting words of wisdom to his trainee, he was also like School of Hard Knocks, which Yoda could be at times, but we don't get to see much of him training anyone.
Yeah, I mean, we don't really get to see him fight much either.
I think that's a bit delayed from something. Not going through ads again. Oh, thank you, Timo. Glad
Timo.
you. Was that you subscribing? Because things seem to be a bit delayed on like redeems and all that stuff tonight.
Yeah, Twitch is like having a conniption fit.
Yeah, I think isn't TwitchCon going on this week?
I believe so. Yes.
I think it is. If it is, that's why.
Maybe.
Yeah, use Prime just now. Okay, so use Prime to subscribe, and it just hasn't registered on my activity feed yet. But thank you very much.
Thanks for the subscription.
Timo here's also a big Castlevania fan.
Ooh, nice.
She
Also,
was she was playing Symphony of the Night the other day, and she has an original copy of it on PS1.
Ooh, nice. If you ever, I think I don't know if she knows this or or something, but if you actually play that in a CD player,
oh, she knows about that. She talked about it on stream.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm always glad to meet another Castlevania fan. Also, Pan, you never ask somebody, are you worthy? It never ends well.
Oh, God, the ring puzzle. I always I solved it by accident.
Look, here's the thing: if you don't really think about it, your body just goes into manual, into autopilot, and you figure it out either way.
I've never figured out like the correct sequence of like memorize the correct sequence of turns you have to do. I just always solve it by accident.
Yeah, a lot of Lord of Shadows puzzles aren't really difficult. It's just time.
The only one I regularly skip through is the chess puzzle because I hate chess puzzles in games. I like playing chess in real life. I don't like playing chess in video games where it's up to like kind of AI bullshit.
A funny thing about you saying this about chess puzzles, in a lot of Dracula games or outside of Castlevania, there is a chess puzzle that either has you trying to navigate the board to get to another end, or actually placing pieces to where you have to disarm a trap. And I always found those really interesting because in one game for like I think it's like Dracula Last Sanctuary, what Dracula said to Harker was very interesting, saying like, can a chess player move on without his queen? Only a fool can believe that. And that was an interesting take, in my opinion, because although yes, in chess, if you lose a queen, it's pretty much almost all over, but it never is. It just never is. You can always come back.
Yeah.
The queen is invincible. She'll come.
The queen is invincible, but if you rely too heavily on it and not on your other pieces or your own skill, then yeah, it is truly over. It's just to prove to say, do not give up, no matter how hard the fight is.
Since today's the last day of Pride Month, and we're talking about chess now, I thought I'd share something brilliant that I heard someone use to describe chess. I saw it in a comment somewhere on a video where they said that chess is the most transgender friendly game ever, because in an average game of chess, your rank and file pawns can become queens.
Yeah.
So chess advocates for gender transitioning for those who want to.
Interesting. I mean, that's one way to look at it.
Yeah, it is.
It's not the intended way to look at it, but fuck author's intent.
I mean, we can look at it the way we want to. It's just a matter of how we perceive it.
Yeah.
I see the doubt in his eyes as he heads towards the left.
One of my favorite instances of like a rare bit of the author of a work, like correcting people on what is like a commonly debated interpretation of something from a famous work, is I saw a clip from an interview with Orson Welles where he was being asked about the significance of like the weird jump cut to a screaming cockatoo in Citizen Kane.
Oh.
And like the interviewer, who's like a film scholar, is asking him like, what is the significance of the cockatoo? What was the significance of like doing a jump cut, like abrupt dissolve transition between like a calm scene and then a screaming cockatoo that doesn't play into the scene itself that follows. And like it's a commonly debated thing to this day for people that don't watch this interview, because a lot of people like to argue about like how it plays into the story of Charles Foster Kane in Citizen Kane. And you want to know what Orson Welles' answer to it was?
What was it?
The screaming cockatoo was to wake up the audience.
That makes sense.
Well, here's a funny thing, like, you know, this is something I just thought about, and I don't know what you think of this, Ari, but what would you think of Orson Welles if he were still alive today?
Which he probably wouldn't be. He'd be ancient. But
take, you know, just for shits and giggles, what would you think if you were to voice the Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog Robotnik? What would you think about that? Like, if you were to
I think he could pull off a good performance for it. I think he would hate every moment of it, because he was very notably a very grumpy man.
Oh, yeah. God. Honestly, I really think he would have I think he would have really, conveyed that hatred for that hedgehog.
Yeah.
Because of how much he would have hated doing the job. But hey, he got
Pretty
paid.
much.
He get paid, so.
Yeah.
All right, time for our not Shadow of the Colossus boss fight.
Oh, our first colossal Titan creature.
Our first Titan.
Yeah.
Back before every video game called their giant bosses Titans.
This one shouldn't really be too bad, so...
Yeah, this one's easy. The Titans in general are pretty easy.
Also, with the narration that was going on with the story, real talk, if I don't believe Christopher Lee is alive now, but
no, he died a while ago.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I would love to hear him like at least read some stuff from Castlevania, like either like an opening crawl or like either like some narration. Like I would love to hear that in like Dracula's voice because
hell yeah. Have an actor who actually played Dracula on screen in a Castlevania game. That was such a missed opportunity.
Like Christopher Lee, Gary Oldman, Bela Lugosi.
Well, Bela Lugosi was gone a few decades before Castlevania even came out.
I know, but even so, like, you have to admit, hearing Bela Lugosi read something from Castlevania, even doing the damn "What is a Man" bits.
Yeah, what is a man? A miserable little pile of secrets. But enough talk. Have at you!
Wine glass breaks.
Like, Bela Lugosi was, he was someone that, like, even in his late career where he was doing, like, Z-grade, shitty horror and sci-fi movies for Ed Wood, he still gave it his all in his performance because he just was an actor. He took it seriously.
The one thing I liked from his Dracula, like, one of his accessories from his Dracula stuff was, the onyx ring he had.
Yeah.
That ring is very symbolic in terms of that, and like if you look at the sprite in Castlevania 2 for the ring, it practically matches.
Yeah. There's a I know this isn't a real Bela Lugosi quote, but I often remember it still because it's from the movie Ed Wood, where Bela Lugosi is a prominent side character in there, and he's played by Martin Landau, and he won an Oscar for it, for his performance. One of my favorite lines of Martin Landau's performance of Bela Lugosi in the movie Ed Wood is when, like, Ed and Bela are watching Vampira doing her, like, TV horror show, and the movie of the week is White Zombie, which is a Bela Lugosi movie. And he starts doing, like, the hypnotizing hand motion that he does in Dracula, where it's sort of like a come hither motion.
Yeah.
That, like, looks really difficult to pull off properly, and, like, Ed Wood tries to follow along with him, and he's like, Bela, how do you do that? I can't do it right. And Bela just nonchalantly says, you must be double jointed, and you must be Hungarian.
Ironically, I am Hungarian, but I am not double jointed, so unfortunately.
Yeah, same here. I'm Hungarian, but I'm not double jointed.
Recently, I learned, like a while back, I come from the Hungarian lineage in my family comes from more of the gypsies. I'm like, okay.
Although the proper terminology is the Roma.
Roma, yeah. I haven't done much.
I've never seen the Ice
on my
Titan
lineage.
use this move before.
Oh, what move is he using?
The one where he, like, traps you in a circle of ice.
Oh.
I've never seen him use that before.
I've seen him use it like at least once or twice, but I think that move only happens when you let the fight go on long enough.
Yeah, because I got knocked off while attacking his second weak spot.
Yeah, it will only go off if you let the fight drag on long enough, and it's not too bad to deal with, but
it just slows you down.
Yeah, it slows you down horribly, but like if any movement that is hindered in Castlevania at all is a death sentence.
Yeah. So having Yuma Kizuki read the Was a Man monologue would suffice. She's currently playing Dracula in the Japanese musical Castlevania Awakening in Moonlight. I would need to hear that, but that would still be cool. I didn't know there was a Castlevania musical going on in Japan. I didn't know there was a Castlevania anything other than the Netflix series currently going on.
This is the first time I've heard of the musical, actually.
It must be something new.
Video. If they have a video, like someone puts it on YouTube or something.
It's an entirely female cast playing. Interesting. Okay, there's that, hey, Kier. How you doing, Frankenstein's ice monster? Frank, we never actually get to see Frankenstein in this saga. But his presence is felt through one part.
Yeah, it is.
But this is the Lake Titan that guards the Lake of Oblivion.
Yeah, one of three Titans we deal. One of the few I think there's 3 Titans.
There's 3. Technically, the third one, I think it's like the Lich Titan or like
Dracolich.
The Dracolich. The Dracolich isn't technically a Titan, but it treats the fight like the Titan fights.
Yeah,
because the Dracolich is a different thing that's not part of the society that built the Titans, but the boss fight is treated like a Titan fight.
Yeah.
It's super new. Okay, I'll have to look into that. Hopefully there's like a recording of it somewhere in a fan translation.
Yeah, I need to hear this musical myself. Like I've heard the Nocturne radio drama.
Yeah, by the way, I made some casting announcements on like people that are going to be in my Sonic 06 fan dub. I also wanted to pitch like as a special for October, doing a fan dub of the Nocturne of Recollection radio drama.
Okay.
And obviously that's a ways off, but I would love to. I've been wanting to do that for years.
Hey, I'd be down for anything.
I'd be down too, honestly.
It'd be interesting for me to have to edit something that's entirely audio.
I mean, it would be a good challenge.
Yeah. And I know the cutscenes are really quiet. I don't know why the pre-rendered cutscenes are quieter than the main game. I can't really find a good balance.
I think it's more along the lines through the stream. Like I think it's from streaming or something. Like maybe like it's more compressed.
No. It's it's the like I'm hearing it through my headphones. It's a lot quieter. The pre-rendered cutscenes are the ones that are quieter than the main game. The in-engine cutscenes are fine. It was like this in Arkham Asylum the other night too.
I mean, I wouldn't really know. I would just think probably it would be like, I would just assume it'd be like something like a Twitch issue or something, but
no, it's not. No, I'm not hearing the audio that's on stream. I'm hearing it directly from my PC.
Oh.
Because I'm playing the PC version.
Maybe there's an option to raise the volume up a little bit?
No, there are volume levels, but they affect both the cutscenes and the game. So, if I raise the volume levels, it's going to make the cutscenes louder, but it's also going to make the game deafening.
Yeah, okay. I've because, like I said, I haven't played this game like since 2014, 2015, so I don't remember much of the menu options.
I get like 2 results. Timo talking about uploads of the new musical. I get like 2 results in YouTube at the moment that is easy to find, but nothing super showy. Plenty of super cuts on Alu Maria interaction too. Glad to hear that ship is still, being played with, even though I don't think they'll ever fully canonize it.
in my opinion, with Castlevania's timeline and continuity, they leave it to the fans to determine it at this point. And in my opinion,
Yeah, I get the feeling that there's certain points in the timeline that they're never going to actually show on screen, like the Battle of 1999, for example.
yeah, they're never going to do that. I wish they did, but there was there is a fan game that someone made that is supposed to be a reenactment of the Battle of 1999.
Yeah, but in terms of like official official entries,
not official, but I know like there were some people from like the original that worked on Castlevania actually helped work on this fan game.
Oh wow. But
I think it's Umbra of Sorrow, if I remember correctly.
Like
it's like a Battle of 19. It's basically telling the story of the Battle of 1999, which is the prelude to Aria of Sorrow.
Right. Like I think a similar thing happens in the Mega Man series, where like certain events we're never going to see play out in games, no matter what happens in potential future installments. Like, we're never going to see the Elf Wars that happened between the X series and the Zero series, and we're never going to see that mythical story that bridges the gap between classic and X and shows the fates of like what happened to everyone in the classic timeline, because that would mean like sealing off any potential for future entries in those sagas.
Yeah.
And also, it's the idea of, like, it's been built up for decades, and at this point, can they fulfill what fans have imagined of it?
But yeah, Alucard Maria, in my opinion, has always been a canon ship because, again...
It's very heavily hinted at. They just haven't, like, 100% said yes.
With the ending in Symphony of the Night being the fact that Maria actively goes out to look for Alucard.
Not just goes out to Alucard. She's like, I can't imagine my life without him now.
Yeah, like the ending literally spells it out. I mean, I don't know how else you want people to put it out there. Like,
and then in Nocturne of Recollection, they're living together.
Yeah. Like, I know Alucard has moved on. He has, like, I think he had, like, partner through different timelines, but Maria is the main one that I think is, like, Dracula's Lisa.
Yeah.
In terms of, like, a pairing.
Yeah.
The Lords of Shadow must not suspect we're on their trail.
Like, one of the, like, with characters like Alucard and what they had set up with Bayonetta before Bayonetta 3 happened, is always an interesting concept. That I like seeing people explore, even if very often they don't go into the ramifications of it, which is like an ageless, immortal being that will never die of old age, finding love with someone who is human and that they will 100% certainty outlive.
Well, there's a beauty behind it because, again, it's like, in that moment in time no matter where that person is, like, yeah, the love is there, but eventually, like, when they pass away, like,
yeah,
it's hard to explain.
I know exactly what you're trying to say. And I agree with that. I'm just saying I love stories that tackle that aspect and don't cheap out by going like, oh, I'm going to make you an ageless immortal being now too, so we can be together forever. I like the inherent kind of like tragedy to it.
Yeah, Bram Stoker's Dracula is a very good example of this as well, like with Gary Oldman's character and Winona Ryder's character.
Timo in chat said Richter practically gives his blessing. Maria, remind you all, is Richter's sister-in-law. So yeah, having him say go to him is big given the time frame the game is set in. Yes.
I know for a fact she is the sister-in-law. After all, Auntie Maria and my dad are close as my sibling-in-laws.
Because I don't think Timo's ever had a chance to talk to you. My buddy Niko here is, as far as his lore goes, is the son of Richter Belmont.
Yeah, basically for that, at a young age, well, in the timeline I'm in, after the events of Symphony of the Night, my mother Annette gave birth to me. But unfortunately, at the young age of 5, a bunch of cultists attacked the town, and they both died trying to protect me. And from there, Maria Maria. I ran away, and I found Maria when I was about to be attacked, and she knew that I needed to be somewhere safe. So ironically, they left me at a church. They left me at a holy order church to learn combat until I grew to the age of 18. And thus I learned how to use my family's weapon, and my adventures practically began. And oh boy, it's a lot. It's like 10 years of real talk. It's like 20 plus years of lore I've been working on behind this.
And if you're wondering why a Dhampir, who's a lord of a lesser Castlevania-esque castle, is invited a Belmont into his premises, we're on good terms because I'm not a conquering type. I just keep to myself.
And pretty much at this point, although I have died once in my life and been given a second chance as a guardian in some way, pretty much at this, I pretty much see Ari here as sort of like a kin, like a brother.
Yeah.
So it's to the point where we always got each other's back. Same with my beloved wife, and we just do what we can despite all that is going on and all the randomness.
And also the dragon. The dragon's a whole a whole kettle of fish.
Yeah, in other words, to put it bluntly for you, Timo, imagine a fourth wall breaking small dragon that is obsessed with fish and can basically just troll the hell out of people.
Yes.
We call this little one Smokey. He is a good boy. He is a very odd boy, but he's a very good boy.
So Timo says sounds about right.
Yeah, it sounds about right. I mean, eventually one day maybe he will to a stream or something, but again,
if we can ever get you set up for VTubing,
I plan to, honestly.
Smokey could make for a good stream pet where the chat can interact with him. Sort of like how Zentreya has the Zentreya Gecko as a text-to-speech chat bot.
Yeah, I plan on doing that myself. The thing is, though, there's a certain model I want to do for my character. It's mainly the Paladin outfit with the white hair and blue eyes, just to show where my character is currently in my own era and timeline. Ooh, I hear good noises. What's going on?
Light magic tutorial.
Okay. Time to use some holy powers.
Yeah. Holy.
Hey, don't knock it. Don't knock it. It is actually pretty strong if you know how to
it's
use
your
it
main way of
correctly.
healing in this game.
Yeah, it's healing. It's basically healing, and in any other Castlevania, it's nuking every creature of darkness within a 25-mile radius.
Yeah, because in the Metroidvanias, they have an elemental weakness system for certain types of weapons, and almost every enemy in your average Metroidvania-styled Castlevania game has darkness as one of their elements, and therefore is weak to holy.
I find it funny how Dracula's demonic Megiddo does count as a holy nuke.
So I wouldn't exactly know because my power is Eldritch in origin. So
Eldritch Origin can have some holy elemental traits.
Yeah,
There is some.
it depends on who you ask.
The whole thing about Eldritch magic is that it's not defined by light or dark.
It really isn't. It's just a matter of how the person uses that power. Not really truly good or evil, but as all power isn't.
Except for the power of odor blocker body wash from Old Spice.
Did Terry Crews personally come up to you and pay you for that?
Sadly, no, because that would have meant I got to meet Terry Crews.
I was gonna say, somehow you kidnapped him, brought him into your castle.
Let's be honest, you don't kidnap Old Spice version of Terry Crews. He just bursts through the wall like the Kool-Aid Man, screaming at the top of his lungs about Old Spice.
Double sun power!
I remember, apparently they don't have Old Spice in the UK.
Really?
And the reason I know this is because my cousin currently goes by Miss Palindrome as her username. Has a friend who lives in England, and like this was years ago when I had like first started using Discord. She has her own server, and we were all in a group chat together with her British friend in there. Well, if you called him British, he would object and say, "I'm not English, Scottish, and Irish. I'm just English." But anyways, like we were showing him some American commercials, and we showed him the commercials for Old Spice, and he didn't know that Old Spice was like a line of like deodorants and body washes and shampoos and stuff. So he thought, based on the Terry Crews advertisements, that was an advertisement for lube.
What?
Because big, muscly, shirtless man screaming at the top of his lungs about the power of Old Spice. He just
Fair
thought
enough.
anal lube.
Okay, okay. I got nothing for this one. I really don't.
Who was it who thought that again? Ari?
You don't know his name. You've never met him.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought you.
This was before I met you.
Oh, okay. There you were saying something about someone from like the UK or whatever.
Yeah, one of my cousin Miss Palindrome's friends.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've never met him.
Yeah, well, obviously, I know very few of your cousin's friends.
Hell, I know very few of her friends.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Like, honestly,
we also, like, just late night decided, I sent them a link to the website that hosted all of those, like, shitty, I hesitate to call them dating sims, the Meet and Fuck series. Anyone who was on old school anyone who was on Newgrounds back in the day has probably had some interaction with those. And we were just going through those and laughing at how shitty they were, especially the writing.
It's funny how
Oh my
Niko's
God.
OC with my OC ha 20 kids.
Yes, that is indeed canon. That is indeed canon, Lulu.
Even though not, yeah. No,
You two got busy.
So anyway, the game.
But he tried out one of the horrid pickup lines from one of the Meet and Fuck games, which was, "I'm a love pirate and I've come to plunder your booty."
How did that go?
He got laid that night.
What the fuck? That man rolled charisma, and he rolled.
He rolled a nat 20 on charisma, both in that check and when rolling his stats.
Yeah. So that was that. Yeah.
Like, I say rolling his stats because he didn't do point buy. He rolled his stats.
Well, I mean, that's usually
Let's just
how
say
a
that
lot.
Niko couldn't escape from Tashai's iron grip.
Iron grip of which part? That's up to you to imagine.
I'm gonna take a drink. I'm going to take a drink now.
Are you getting thirsty?
Use your imagination.
Are you getting thirsty thinking about that?
No, I'm just trying to keep my composure.
Ah, so you are getting thirsty. Okay, fine. I'll hydrate.
But no. Speaking of D&D, also, what I'm bringing up as well. We are doing a Castlevania-esque D&D. We're gonna try this out in October.
Yes.
Again, I do. People do want to take part. Just let us know. It'll be more like a one-off, just to see how people like these kind of streams.
Yeah.
But Ari,
I'll be hosting streams of it.
Yeah, Ari will be hosting it. Ari and my beloved wanted me to try doing this again, because I've done a couple Vania and Vampire, like Bram Stoker, Dracula D&Ds as well, with a few friends back in the past. And we just wanted to see how this would go. And if anyone did want to take part, again, we're making characters in September, a month before the campaign.
Right.
And we're just going to see how it goes. We're going to do a scenario, probably be like a 3-hour session. And if people enjoy it, we'll probably do more. Again, This is more of an experimental thing, and it'll be going off of 5th edition rules.
Yeah, D&D 5th edition with a few custom rule sets added for Castlevania mechanics.
Yeah, like a lot of it is homebrew, but the character creation is
it'll be narrative based. There won't be a board to use because Niko currently does not have vision, so he wouldn't be able to keep track of the board.
I lost my vision 3 years ago. So it was officially 3 years ago. And
Timo's asking, is it 2014 5th edition or 2024 5th edition?
I'm probably gonna do that's up in the air, but I'm thinking about doing 2024 because it's a little more simpler to make a character. But again, you could do either or. It's just like, because Ari,
I'm very out of practice with D&D.
Yeah, basically Ari and my beloved have not made a character in D&D proper in a while.
Yeah, last time I played D&D, it was when 4th edition was out,
4th edition.
and everyone was rallying against 4th edition, so my group played with 3rd edition.
And it'll be very interesting because when we did Castlevania with a couple of my old friends, we did Pathfinder because it was a little more easier.
Yeah, I was there for those as well, which is what made me want to do this again with you, because you were such a good DM.
Well, I try, but like I said...
You try and you succeed.
Well, here's the thing. Like I said, people can join if they want to. Like I said, we're making...
I would say we'd probably set up a limited number of slots for players.
Well, yeah, the limit I was going to have... usually the limit I was going to have is 5 or 6, because that's the max you could possibly have in a D&D session.
Okay, I didn't know there was an upper limit on how many you can have.
Well, it depends on how big you want the game to be, but in my opinion, I was going to originally have a minimum of 4 to a maximum of 6.
Okay.
And what I was originally going to do is, if this all works out, and the Castlevania D&D does well, I might also do a Pokemon Mystery Dungeon D&D, where the players are actually the Pokemon, and we actually have like them as the classes, and not just like, oh, we're trainers and we're just like catching Pokemon. No, we are the Pokemon.
If I could find someone who's versed enough in DMing, it doesn't use D&D rules. They thought about using D&D rules for it, but they ended up going with a homebrew system, but it's an officially licensed product. There's a Transformers tabletop game, tabletop role-playing game, and there's also a Power Rangers one. They both use the same rule set because they're from the same company, and they're officially licensed from Hasbro.
Yeah, usually with D&D, although the role player handbook and the rule book they're basically just guidelines.
Right.
In the end, in the end though, it again, it's like it depends on how the players and how the GM like want to go about during some situations. But like I said, this is going to be more like a lighthearted. We're just having a good time with the D&D campaign and see if like people would be interested in watching this, people taking part in it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it will be a maximum of 6 players. We are making characters in September, and then we'll probably do like either between 2 or 4 sessions during the month of October. It'll be mainly on the weekend.
Yeah.
And then from the end of all of it, we will probably have like a final thoughts stream or something and see if anyone would like to do this again. I mean, I've been really excited. I've been working on bringing back the old rule set I've had, as well as what I've learned from a couple of my friends, because again, Castlevania to me is like a passion project, and like the more people that want to take part in it, the better.
He takes his prowess in.
All right, we're finally at the level where we're going to get a pet spider.
Goblins are one.
Ooh, yay!
It was beyond level 4 or 5. It's in chapter 2.
Creatures who
Oh God, okay. So now here's the thing, though. Real talk. Here's the thing. We need a nickname for this thing. Let's give it a nickname.
Tarantulas.
No.
Tarantulas.
I veto that.
Come on, Ari.
I would call it Mr. Pilkington, but here's the problem. It's not a raptor.
Yeah, it's not a velociraptor, so you can't call it Mr. Pilkington. You know what I'm going to call it? Since I am the one who's going to be taming it, and it will be my pet, I will hug him and squeeze him and call him George.
You heard it here, folks. Write it down in Ari's lore. He has a pet giant spider crawling around the castle.
Well, I did. We'll get into that. We'll get into that when we get to taming the giants. We'll get into that when we get into taming the giant spiders in this game.
Oh boy! When I first saw the giant,
remember, you can't keep the spiders.
I know. The thing is, I'm an arachnophobe. Well, not as much anymore. But
I don't like spiders either, and these are very, very detailed spiders.
Like, when I saw these for the first time jumping me, I was just like, wait, what the hell?
It's not just like that they're giant spiders. The way their mandibles move is so freaky. Like, it's not just that they're, spiders of unusual size. It's that
I'm Aragog, king of the spider people.
It's not just that they're giant spiders, it's that they move like real spiders do.
Yeah, no kidding. I always wondered, there's no spiders in Sonic the Hedgehog, and yeah, I wonder what would happen if Robotnik got his hands on one
there
of these
are spider badniks, but not spider characters.
Well, yeah, I'm just saying, like, what would Robotnik do with this giant spider?
Roboticize it?
Probably.
I mean, obviously, yeah. He'd roboticize it, that's for sure.
It also depends on which Robotnik.
Okay, we're just gonna say, Eggman of Chicago.
He would. His answer. He said his answer. He's gonna roboticize it.
Fair enough. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's also going to roboticize the Gear Rex from Peace Walker to make his own Metal Gear.
Oh God.
Like, if you don't know what the Gear Rex is, Nico, because I know you're not.
I know what the Gear Rex is.
It is a Monster Hunter version of the Metal Gear Rex.
But no, if to everyone in the chat though, if you are interested in the campaign, message Ari.
Message me on Discord, not on Twitch. I never see my Twitch messages.
Yeah, message him on Discord. I believe there is still like 2 or 3 slots left.
Yeah, we've got not counting you, we've got 3 slots filled currently. Timo seems interested. Well, I don't want to speak for her, but based on what she's been saying in chat, she seems interested.
Well, like I said, it's like, I'm DMing it. The only thing is I have to do now is find somebody to help me look up certain rules for some of the certain spells. But other than that, it's mainly just going to be like improv, set up story. There we go.
I mean, I can help you with that, Nico. I actually have access to D&D Beyond, which has like a huge database of everything.
Yeah, because
D&D related.
JKR plays a lot of D&D currently.
I was gonna say, if it's not too much trouble, I would really appreciate it.
No, it's no worries at all. I'm happy to help you wherever I can.
All right, then. Well, then, like I said, there are 3 slots left for the campaign, and I believe the cutoff will be for September, because that's when we will be making the actual characters. And
Right,
then
you got plenty
all
of
that we
time
left
to
is-
think about if you wanted to partake in our adventures.
Yeah. Yep. One thing I wanted to do in the campaign for downtime that I actually saw someone do. During one of the extra live, not extra lives, it was for TRG Coliseum. Steve and George did a D&D campaign. It was like a one-off. What he did was
I got a knock at the
during certain-
door. Give me a sec. Let me find my mute button. And then...
You're fine. I will continue when you get back. I'll continue when you get back.
Funny you should
But
say extra life.
Yeah, I forgot which one it was. Is that thing still going on, by the way?
Yes, it goes on till the end of the year. We surpassed our goal of $500, so we are currently at 604. Welcome back. We are currently at 647 USD. The new goal, but hopefully by the end of the year, is 1,000. So.
And then if we manage to hit 1,000, the next goal will be 1,500.
Yep.
I was gonna say, since you mentioned that it goes on till the end of the year, this actually plays into what I was gonna say. During TRG, Steve and George did a D&D campaign where for like a set donation, viewers can actually type in like different scenarios or stuff that the players have had to add into their story. And it got really funny during like the downtime of like when they were out of battle or whatever. So like it's a long stretch, but part of me maybe thinks like maybe we can help you out with that goal, JKR. I could probably do like a donation thing, like say like a $5 or like $1 to $5 to be like, oh, what do you think? What random thing do you want to have happen in this tavern?
Yeah.
Honestly, like that sounds awesome. Here's the thing.
Finally give a tangible reward for those who donate.
Yeah, because I've been horrible when it comes to like rewards and everything.
So I haven't had any ideas for it either, because I'm not the kind that likes to be like, oh, if you pay me, I will do such and such thing for a stream, even if it's something I really don't want to do.
Right. It's like I'm more like, I tell people it's like it goes towards a good cause, because I tell everybody 100% of the donation goes to the hospital, not to us. We don't get anything out of it.
Yeah, those who participate in Extra Life do not get a cut. They it all goes towards the charity that they donate to.
Yes.
Because another thing that they did was they for like a donation they were like, okay, for example, what do you want Ari's character's like personal quirk to be? Like, what is the one thing that'll make that Ari has to implement into his character? And someone one time did this to Josh Jepson, said every time he saw a lizard, he had to seduce it. And the funny thing was, he was a bard playing a cowbell.
Oh, jeez.
Did he have a fever? And was the only prescription more cowbell?
Yeah.
Okay.
Ironically enough. He also seduced the lizard and apparently had a wife named Brenda, who was a giant Argonian from Skyrim.
Oh.
That owed he owed alimony to.
Is she the lusty Argonian maid of legend?
Probably, yeah, because the fact also that a small dragon actually seduced the big lizard and dragged the giant Argonian off by her shins.
Oh.
It's a very weird story, but I found it hilarious. But no, like I was thinking probably something like that for like if it'll help you out with the extra life thing, we could probably try and do a little bit of that to help you out.
Yeah, I'd be up for that.
That'd be awesome. I'd be totally down for that. Honestly, it's funny how it's like technically the Game Genies, which is the team I'm a part of, where even though there's really like just the two of us, and that's me and Mario, both of us have our own like groups of people that we rope into these sorts of things. So like he's got the entire Mario group, whereas I am like, I got a bunch of VTuber friends from across the country that are willing to help.
Well, I mean, if you are for it, I can probably implement that into the D&D campaign, and we can see where this goes.
That'd be awesome. If you're up for it, I'm all for it.
What about you, Ari?
I'm up for it. I'm absolutely up for it.
All right, then I guess the best thing I could possibly do is like maybe like if you have a donation, you can give like characters. Each character gets one specific trait that the audience gets to give them.
Yeah.
If you donate, and then over time, like if there's downtime or whatever, you could have a scenario play out as long as it's like
within Twitch TOS.
Within Twitch TOS, then yes, that's fine. But no, like it would be. I think it would be pretty interesting.
So too.
Also, have you killed your? Have you done in your spider friend?
I haven't recruited him yet because I don't have the whip upgrade that lets me ride beasts.
So we haven't gotten George yet. Okay.
Yeah, we haven't gotten George yet. I've just been fighting some spiders while getting the runic keys to open the door.
But no, the details on those spiders are holy.
Yeah, especially since again PS3, Xbox 360
have you
game.
Seen the Skulltulas in Skyward Sword?
Yes.
Holy shit.
Or hell, the Skulltulas in Twilight Princess.
Yeah, I know the Twilight Princess ones. When I saw the Skyward Sword ones, that was like, yeah, no, I'm good. Like, especially when their eyes glow in the dark.
Now I've got some ideas.
JKR got an awful idea. A terrible, awful idea.
One could say it's naughty.
Naughty. That was my granny's favorite episode of Courage the Cowardly Dog. And that was also... Courage the Cowardly Dog was her favorite Cartoon Network show.
That show was legendary, and my favorite one was Ramsey.
Yeah, the Ramses episode was my favorite too. King Ramses! The man in gauze, the man in gauze. Whoa, whoa! The man in gauze, the man in gauze.
As soon as he breaks the record player, oh, come on, man.
Return the slab, or suffer my curse. What's your offer?
What's your offer?
Oh, God,
and then it ends up being
that episode scared the crap out of me as a kid.
That one scared a lot of kids of that generation because for whatever reason it was like included on one of the direct-to-video Scooby-Doo movie tapes.
Yeah. As I recall, it was what was it? Alien Invaders.
Yeah, Alien Invaders.
The one episode from Courage that scared me was the Harvest Moon.
Oh yeah, the Harvest Moon head because it looked so out of place, as
it's not
a live action head.
Like the fact is that head locked the cellar door and tried to make them melt from raising the fucking heat.
Yeah, that's a horrible way to go out. Like that head was brutal.
Like, okay, this head does not need to be as powerful as it is. My other favorite one is, do you want to know what made these bones? You don't want to know what made these bones.
Boxes! Boxers! Briefs!
Boxes! Muriel just whistles. Also, the fact that King Ghidorah is in an apartment complex.
Yeah. Back when you were able to license actual Godzilla footage for really cheap.
That girl with the fucking violin.
Yeah.
I'm just like, oh.
Okay, but what about the one about, like, you're not perfect? You're not perfect.
Just looking at that thing is creepy enough. I'm glad I was never... I'm glad I never saw that
Barracuda. The bathtub barracuda, like, it's okay, nobody's perfect, Courage.
Perfect. Look, that
bathtub barracuda has nothing to do with the plot of the episode. It's just there.
Look, real talk though, that barracuda was spitting some real wisdom.
Yeah.
I want to count it.
Oh, and of course the one about the cat girl with the mask and trying to get her definitely lesbian lover Bunny away from the mad dog gangster that she was with. That was such a cool episode and very progressive for its time. Like, they didn't outright state that they were supposed to be a lesbian couple, but you can definitely tell that's what they were going for.
Yeah, you could definitely tell.
And
and
it was done tastefully, as opposed to something like when Cow and Chicken had an episode about lesbians. They just made them just stereotypes, the Buffalo Gals episode, and it was so not just the fact that it referenced homosexuality being a thing in a 90s cartoon, but the way it was depicted was so obscene for a kid's cartoon, with how too far the humor went, that it led to it being one of the only Cartoon Network shows of that era to be very limited in broadcast and home media release.
Yeah, one other episode in Courage that I remember, one of my favorite characters was Cats.
The Cats episodes were always good. Welcome to the Cats Motel.
Yeah, the spider that came out of the fucking bathtub's faucet. I'm like, no.
Yeah.
And then they play like a game of they play a game of ball or whatever.
How about a spot of sport before you go bye-bye?
That I'm sorry, whoever did Cat's voice needed a raise. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
He did good.
If you like Courage the Cowardly Dog and you want more of it, there is a short film that was supposed to be a pilot for a Courage reboot that never got picked up. If you can find it on YouTube, because it periodically gets taken down, it's called The Fog of Courage.
Ooh.
And it's Courage done in 3D CGI animation, but rendered to look like a 3D take on the designs and settings of the original. It has as many of the returning cast as they could get. Obviously, Eustace's voice actor had long since passed by that time. In fact, there were 2 Eustace voice actors during the initial run, because the first one died. And in this one, he's played by Wallace Shawn, who you might know from The Princess Bride. Inconceivable! Or, for voicing Rex from Toy Story.
Oh,
yeah.
He plays Eustace.
Oh, God.
And because it's in CGI animation, and that makes it a bit easier to do, distorted models and stuff, they get really creative with Courage's, scared faces.
Yeah.
Oh, Ari, you said that the castle has a legion of spiders.
I didn't say a legion, I said it had a spider.
Oh.
I mean, if you want a spider that badly, there's probably a couple of them outside his castle.
Look, the reason we had to get rid of the giant spider before it could reproduce is because Dr. Frankenstein wanted to start experimenting on it, thinking that he could outdo Oscorp's radioactive spiders by making giant radioactive spiders.
This ruined city now belongs
that wouldn't have gone well, I would assume.
not allow you to pass without...
I wasn't about to let him experiment on George, so I had to put him out of his misery. He was old anyways.
My friend, you need to...
Rest in peace, George.
And now we shall have a moment, and now let us have a moment of silence for George. Okay, the moment's over.
That was fast.
but no, if you want a spider that badly, you could go outside of his castle. I'm pretty sure there's a bunch of giant spider. I'm sure there's a giant queen spider if you really want it. You have to go.
If you go deep enough into the woods, you're sure to find all sorts of critters.
Let's see. Let's see. Lamia.
You're looking for some lusty lamias, are you, Niko? Because I know where to find some.
No, I am terrified of those things. Leave me be.
Look, all I'm saying is I know where to find some, if you really need some.
It doesn't help the fact my wife has shape-shifting powers, and she does this on the daily.
All right, so we don't get our spider yet, but we do get a warthog. Looks more like a puma to me.
Are you calling him Puma?
I'm calling him Puma.
Okay, I'm calling him Puma.
So I'm guessing the guy on his back is Timon.
No, not Pumbaa. Puma, as in as in the gag from episode 2 of Red vs. Blue.
Nah, the guy on top. Nah, the guy on top of Puma is Griff.
Yeah, well, the guy on top of Puma is now dead.
But yeah, what I was saying about the spiders was because just whatever you do, don't look in the don't look at the fan art section.
What did you do? I mean, I'm blind, but what did you do?
So basically what you're saying is you want me to look in the fan art section later. Got it.
I mean, let's just say that I may have left a giant legion of spiders.
But no, seriously, there's giant spiders, lamia.
You see, where there are giant spiders, there are usually arachnes near them.
Fair enough. There's also poison lizardmen, and I want to say Allura Une.
I found out how to pronounce that, by the way. Turns out it's German.
Oh.
It's pronounced Alrauna.
Alrauna?
Alrauna.
Alrauna.
Yes.
Okay, then. Gotta edit the good old monster
I mean, to be fair, the Vampire Hunter Survival Guide doesn't have a pronunciation manual with it.
I mean, you're not wrong about that, but the book that I carry keeps track of everything, even outside of our dimension and timeline, so I need to make sure I got all pronunciations and all subspecies, just to make sure that if anyone tries to hunt these creatures, they're not stupid and don't end up in a trap.
Also, just speaking from personal experience, do not ask a succubus for suck. They find that offensive.
I was going to say, why would you even do that in the first place?
They find it offensive because it's making fun of their ethnicity's name.
Oh, no. Speaking of interesting thing, real talk. So in Aria of Sorrow, Ari, did you know succubi can use magic, right?
Yes.
I want you to guess how much mana they have.
Too much.
So here's the thing. There's a soul in the game called Killer Mantle. It swaps the HP and MP of all creatures that it hits.
So it makes so if you use it on the succubus, you fucked yourself, and not in a fun way.
The succubus has 9,999 MP and only 12 HP.
Oh. So don't do that.
Well, 200 and something HP, I'm trying to remember. But if you swap it, you basically have a succubus that is stronger than the final boss of the game.
Yeah, so don't do that.
And there's a room where there's 3 succubus and 2 Lilith in a bathtub with a rubber duck that you come across.
Ladies, am I interrupting something?
Oh my god.
Also, Rubber Ducky, you're the one. You make bath time so fun.
There's actually a comic about that where Soma finds them and Soma just goes past them and just plays with the rubber duck.
I haven't seen many, like, Castlevania fan parody comics of stuff like that, but I have seen one of Bloodless from Bloodstained, who seems to be making more cameos and stuff than any other character from Bloodstained is.
Well, Bloodless is very popular.
It surprises me that, like, just a one-off boss in that game became the mascot character of the game.
Well, also the reason why, it's basically a more...
Other than the fact that she's, you know, sexy.
Well, it's more along the lines of a wholesome, cuter Carmilla rather than Carmilla being Carmilla.
But it was a fan comic from back around the time when Bloodstained was getting ready to come out and we got our first look at Bloodless.
Yeah.
And it's like... It's based on the old SpongeBob bit of, like, oh boy, 3 a.m. It's Miriam saying, who takes a bath in a tub full of blood at 3 in the morning?
Saw that.
And then Bloodless is just in the bathtub full of blood, looking so excited, saying, oh boy, 3 a.m.
3 a.m. I saw that comic and I loved it. Like, she was precious in that one. I'm like, oh no.
Also, there was one that came out, like, after we finally found out how Jeebel's name is pronounced, because before that we had only ever seen it spelled.
Yeah.
And it's like, Miriam, remember that no matter what, it's Jonathan talking to her, and he's like, Miriam, remember, no matter what, you must not allow yourself to be deceived by Jeebel. And she's like, yes, do not be deceived by gerbils. And then she starts thinking about cute, fuzzy gerbils.
Oh my god. I was gonna say, the funny thing about Bloodstained that made my friend very upset. You never played Bloodstained, have you?
JKR hasn't, but I have.
Do you know of a certain librarian that is
I know all about OD.
Do you know what his name is backwards?
Yes, I know.
Okay, good. My friend was upset when I told him that. He said, get out of the call.
Yeah, I know all about my boy OD. The legally distinct, the best kind of distinct, Alucard.
Pretty much, yeah.
Voiced with the sexy bass of Robert Belgrade.
Also the fact he has Waluigi glasses.
He has Waluigi glasses if you beat his optional boss fight. And if the name Robert Belgrade sounds familiar to anyone watching my streams who isn't a big Castlevania fan, you'll recognize him for voicing Optimus Prime, the narrator, and Soundwave and Sound Blaster from that shitty Japanese Transformers game I've been streaming off and on.
Also, the fact that with Smash Bros. Ultimate, they actually got Symphony of the Night's Alucard's voice actor to actually show up in there for a talk with Palutena about Richter.
Well, the voice of Alucard that they use in Smash Ultimate is...
it's not the original one, it's
It's Yuri Lowenthal. The
PSP one, never mind,
yeah,
sorry.
It's Yuri Lowenthal, sadly.
But I still found it funny because it's like, oh, Alucard, why are you here? I've come to tell you about Richter. He just shows up.
Yeah, I love Yuri Lowenthal. If anyone's been watching my Spider-Man streams, Marvel Spider-Man streams, you know that I am so in love with his performance as Peter Parker. He's one of my favorite people to play the character in any medium. I do not like his Alucard. He sounds too young.
In a way, his Alucard sounds like...
His Alucard sounds too young for how... Like, his voice could work for, like, Castlevania 3 Alucard. But not Symphony of the Night onwards. He's too old.
I was gonna say he sound like his Alucard though sounds a lot like Uchiha to me. I don't know why.
A lot like what?
Sasuke Uchiha.
That's because Yuri Lowenthal also voices Sasuke Uchiha.
God damn it. Hey Sakura Haruno, did you know that you're here, but also a ninja?
I mean, as if Sasuke wasn't overpowered and overcomplicated in his backstory enough.
Pretty much, yeah.
The city occupies many layers.
Many layers, like an onion or an ogre.
Of dead ends and
the more you peel away, the more it stinks.
Just like life.
He has shown great resilience, but this journey will take him longer than anticipated and deeper than.
That's one of my favorite, like, philosophical lines from Ed, Edd and Eddy. Life is like an onion. Yeah. The more you peel away its layers, the more it stinks.
Where his destiny awaits.
No, wait, that wasn't life. That was love. Either way.
Yeah,
both are accurate.
Ed and Eddy was still such a very good show. I miss.
Yeah. Also, it turns out that the mythical lost episode of Ed, Edd and Eddy that everybody had been like feverishly searching for since they first heard about it never existed in the first place.
Huh?
It was a episode title that was thrown out, but they never went beyond the pitch for a title, so it was never made into an episode or even conceived as like what the story would be. The episode title that people thought was a lost episode or canceled episode that might have gotten partway into production, but it turns out it never did, was called Special Ed. And they rejected that title on the spot because it's too real.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But, no, the reason why I liked that Eddie a lot also was because one of my favorite things they did was the giant, freeze pops.
Yeah, the giant freeze pops with the whole fruits in them.
Like, part of me was like, that's actually a good idea.
Like, here's the thing about Ed, Edd and Eddy is in the earlier seasons, they're not actually scamming people all that much. They're just making, like, cheapo versions of like stuff you would buy at the store or like carnival stuff.
The fact that Ed sleepwalks, eats everybody's food, and becomes a refrigerator.
Yes. There's a video that someone did of looking at every scam that Ed and A did throughout the series and seeing like whether they actually qualify as scams or not on a case-by-case basis.
I just love the fact that when they tried to make pizza dough during the whole thing with Sarah and Double D, the pizza dough is way too fucking big. I'm like, how are you going to fit that in the oven? I mean, that would be a pretty sick-looking pizza, but how are you going to fit that in an oven?
All right, this is the level where we get George. Say hello to George, everyone.
Everybody say hi to George. Give head pats if you are brave, or feed him if you wish.
We are now writing George.
Won't be around.
I'm just letting him walk around to further unnerve the arachnophobes in the audience, because I am that guy.
If anyone has questions for George, you can ask him.
He's not going to answer, but you can ask him.
Alright, you're evil.
Yes, I am. Thank you. Anyway, say goodbye to George, everyone.
Yep.
And thus was the short life of George.
Pretty much, yeah. Off topic of this, I was looking at some old stuff for GameCube or whatever.
Yeah.
And I totally forgot one thing on Luigi's Mansion that I forgot that they did for a Flash game. One of the ghosts, Madame Clairvoyant, had an English voice actress. I forgot about that.
Yeah, a lot of people don't know about or don't remember the Nintendo Flash games because, you know, they weren't archived as much as like Newground stuff is. There's a Mario Tennis Flash game that people are searching for, but people also hope isn't found just because of the title.
Yeah, because the Madame Clairvoyant one is basically like just a fortune teller. You just ask her a question, she'll give you an answer. I love her voice, but the one when she's angry makes me laugh.
Would you like to know that JKR already knows this one because he's clipped it and sent it to his buddy Mario before, and Mario knew about it because he has an encyclopedic knowledge of all things Super Mario Brothers. But would you like to know what the name of this lost lost Mario Tennis promotional Flash game is that people debate about whether they want to be found or not?
What?
Waluigi's Toenail Clipping Party.
Well. All right then. Okay,
it was when Nintendo was still kind of in their like edgy gross out era of advertisements.
You were saying George was the scariest thing in this stream. No, I think the toenail clipping is even worse.
That's why people debate whether they want it to actually be found or not. Like, it's lost Nintendo media, but do people really want to see it?
I don't.
Do we really want to unleash this on the modern internet landscape?
No.
Given what people do already with non-official stuff.
But no, the Madame Clairvoyant one, when she gets angry, it's so funny. It's just like, absolutely not! Absolutely not! I'm like, wait, what? Like, I forgot how funny it was, because she gets so mad, she speaks gibberish.
Pussy.
We're finding a lot of lichens in this area. It's almost like we're in their neck of the woods or something.
Well, to be fair, their main habitat is in the woods.
That was the joke. It was a shitty joke, but it was still the joke.
Oh, you stink.
We have a redeem for that, you know.
I'm well aware, but hey, you don't.
Look, JKR is well aware, but JKR wanted to add his own flair to it. I give him respect for that.
Not to mention the fact that you do not deserve the brain cells for that, Ari.
Why? Because I keep killing yours every time we speak?
That, and among other things.
I managed to ruin Mori Calliope for multiple people recently. Which, I don't think I've talked about that on stream yet.
Sure, why not? We already went to Waluigi's toenails. Why don't we just go into this?
It was a cursed realization I had about Mori Calliope from Hololive the other night. And I've shared it to several Mori Calliope fans, and now I will share it with you guys on stream. So anyone watching this will have the concept of Hololive's premier musical artist ruined for them forever.
I'm sorry.
So you know how Mori Calliope is, you know, basically the pop idol in terms of, like, having a big music career alongside being a VTuber, and that the Mori Calliope character is a persona that she puts on for that, like, corporate pop music career. And she also has she has a presence outside of the Mori Calliope stuff that I won't name on here, just out of respect for her. It's like, it's taboo for VTubers to acknowledge each other's, like, IRL or alternate account names.
Basically, yeah.
But, like, you'll know who she is if you know what I'm talking about. And that one's, like, the real her that isn't, dressed up as another persona, very thin Clark Kent-esque disguise that she has to keep distinct in the public space from her pop persona, right?
Yeah.
So basically, Mori Calliope is the modern-day Hannah Montana.
Well, then. So what you're telling me is she's dual personalities.
I'm not saying she's dual personalities. I'm saying she is, Mori Calliope is to her other internet presence that I won't name here, but if you know who I'm talking about, then you already know who it is. That Hannah Montana is to Miley Stewart. And I say Stewart because that was her name on the show. I only watched a little bit of it because I had a friend who had an obsessive crush on Miley Cyrus and subjected me to that every time we would hang out. His crush then moved on to Taylor Swift, and he subjected me to an awful concert that she did together with Def Leppard where they performed each other's songs. And by they performed each other's songs, I mean she sang all the songs while Def Leppard was her backup band alongside her usual backup band. So there was no reason for Def Leppard to be there. It's often regarded as one of the worst concerts in concept of all time. But after that, his obsessive celebrity crush on a youngish, teen-ish idol moved from Miley Cyrus to Taylor Swift to Ariana Grande.
So after Ariana Grande, what will be the next one?
I don't know because I don't talk to him anymore. He's a piece of shit.
Oh, God.
We haven't spoken in years because, like, he got, without getting too much into political discussion here, he got, like, obsessive Trump cultist vibes. And anytime I would call him out on, like, abandoning any principles he used to have in favor of slavish loyalty to a specific political figure, he would just call his mom to tell me that I'm everything that's wrong with this like, he would, like, have his mom, like, send angry tirades to me on Facebook about how I'm everything wrong with this country. Instead of him having the balls to say it to me himself, he would call his mommy to do it.
So basically what you're telling me, he's a pussy.
Yes. He also spoke a lot about, like, being impacted by veterans issues as a veteran. And I'm like, you are not a veteran, motherfucker. You got kicked out of the Air Force Academy because you had scoliosis.
You may not have heard it over my microphone, but I collided my hand with my forehead.
Oh, I heard it, and that was perfect.
So any more spiders or doggos?
Not at the moment. Right now I'm just exploring. We did write a troll.
Oh, right. Yeah, I forgot you can ride those in this game.
Can we talk about how, like, the spiked whip, when you use it to saw through the statues, that is the most inconvenient way to saw through anything ever?
Well, yeah, I mean, you're literally trying to cut through stone using a chain whip with spikes.
Yeah, like,
When
Ronaldo
Ronaldo
Gandolfi. I understand the beast taming aspect of the spiked chain, but why use that as a saw? That is the world's worst saw.
I mean, it's meant to cut through flesh and bone, but not
yeah, but I
stone,
mean for, like, sawing through obstructions. That's a very bad way to saw through anything.
Actually, if I remember correctly, no, Gandolfi did make the combat cross, but it was...
He didn't make the combat cross, but he made the upgrades that you get for the combat cross.
Right, okay.
Because, like, each of the codex entries that you get when you get an upgrade talks about Ronaldo Gandolfi's designs.
Ronaldo is a very interesting character. Like, he is very interesting.
For how little he appears, he's very interesting.
Well, he's the reason why the base for the vampire killer even exists.
Yeah, the Whip of Alchemy.
Mm-hmm.
I know that much from Lament of Innocence. I haven't played much of Lament of Innocence, but I did see that much because it's like opening of the game.
Yeah, which means you probably haven't seen or heard of how the vampire...
No, I haven't seen or heard of how the vampire...
I'm not going to say anything about that because
its power. I will say, I'm sure it's better than how the Vampire Killer got so special in the Lords of Shadow continuity.
I will say this, as a Belmont, I will tell you this right now, it is very heart-wrenching, and it is a very...
Part of me thinks, like, oh, is it like Bionic Commando 2013, where it's like, the secret to your bionic arm is that it is made out of your dead wife?
You're not far off.
Oh my god, I was joking! Okay, another spider. Say hello to George Jr. George Jr. is very bad at crossing bridges.
Ironically, you literally guessed how the damn weapon was made.
And I'm sure it pulled it off better than Bionic Commando did. Because, you know, using that for...
It was more...
using someone as a... Using basically a human sacrifice for, you know, a magical item, that tracks. Using it for a bionic... Using a human as a sacrifice to create a bionic arm makes no fucking sense and is one of the most mocked aspects of Bionic Commando 2013.
Well, there is a reason... Well, there is a reason why... Famous Belmont, but also one of the most tragic.
Yeah.
But I will not get into that until we play Layman of Innocence.
Yes.
I really don't. I really do not want to spoil that because that story, Layman of Innocence, in my opinion, out of between that and Curse of Darkness, has the best story.
Aw, he made a bridge for me.
Too bad he can't out of web.
Too bad he can't cross the bridge. So George Jr., it is time.
Well,
goodbye, George Jr.
It's time to make another grave.
We're gonna need another Timmy!
Don't worry, Smokey's on it. I already hear him digging.
I hope somebody got that specific reference I just made. Because it's something I barely remember, but is stuck in my subconscious. It's from, you know, that Jim Henson TV show, Dinosaurs.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I remember.
Like, they had a, there was like one episode where as a running gag throughout the episode, there was like a TV, sort of like a not a Bill Nye, because Bill Nye the Science Guy wasn't out at the time, more Beakman's World type science show.
How about 10 more kids, Niko, my love?
Well, how about it?
Right now,
I didn't hear a no.
Look, here's the thing. If I say no, she's gonna somehow jump me and get what she wants anyway. Again, I'm only human and my wife is a shapeshifter. She could turn into anything she wants.
Isn't she half angel too?
Yes, but mainly her ability is shapeshifting, and she is able to transform into many things, including that of celestial gods, in a sense. Although it's more harder to control.
And now we have shadow magic.
Yes. So basically, this stuff. So
can we talk about how like the light magic medallion is given, you know, significance in like it's given to us as a gift by Zobek to help us on our journey, whereas the shadow magic medallion, I just found it on this corpse, I'll take it.
Yeah, pretty much. But then again, here's the thing with the shadow magic medallion. Shadow magic is pretty powerful, and those who are not like adept mainly in magic at all, or very sensitive to magic, shadow magic can kill the caster.
Yep. There's a lore reason for why Gabriel so happens to be the perfect person to do all this stuff, but we won't spoil that.
We're not going to spoil that, but shadow magic in this game, basically what it does, it powers up the dagger, well, when you get the daggers, and that's about it, other than just giving your gauntlet the ability to rip through armor and deal massive damage.
Yeah, and, you know, it powers up the whip.
Well, it does power up the whip, yes. That too, but mainly what you use it for is
and human hybrid baby.
Archangel human hybrid baby, indeed.
There you go. There's the lore. Anyway, ripping through armor is its main practical use, so you can set up for like a lot of combos with the whip. And if you need healing, you can combo shadow into light, and then you can get a bunch of healing back, practically your entire health bar back.
Yeah,
through that one combo.
Mastering when to switch between light and shadow magic is a game changer for this, and it really sets it apart from God of War and its contemporaries.
Yeah, it makes it very strategic.
And it makes it the fact that you can't fill up either meter while using magic keeps them from being too overpowered.
Yeah, because again, you have to decide in the situation, oh, okay, this creature has a ton of armor, but also has a lot of defense. Do I want to focus mainly on bashing its face in, or do I want to focus more on healing off of this creature?
Aura, Ali, please. Sure. Let me try that again, because I got interrupted so rudely. Or if you want, like, that was a more, like, sweet If you want a more seductive then, like,
I still can't get over the RR I did on the last stream I was in.
Or if you want a Mori Calliope Ara, ARA.
Just give them the Robotnik RR. I guarantee you it'll.
Ara.
Oh God, no! I made a mistake.
And God, what? Or you could go with how the one time that Kiryu Koko, I wish she was still around, but all the good things must come to an end. And she came to an end a long time ago, but she's off doing better things now. If you want a Kiryu Koko Ara, motherfucker.
Oh my God.
Basically, there's a wide variety of auras you can do if you are brave and or shameless enough.
I only did my RR because somebody donated, and it was my own.
And I just bought the light flash that is going to help out a lot.
Oh yeah, because now when you do a perfect guard, it causes a blinding flash of light like a flashbang and stuns enemies while doing it, so you have a longer reaction time.
Lulu, yes, I watched, I didn't get to see all of Saba's debut, but I watched about half of it because I had to get on to Furret's stream that same afternoon. But I love, he's been streaming, like, he posts his schedule in my server, weekly, but, on Saturdays when I'm available, so it won't be this Saturday, but maybe next Saturday if I get home in time. He's been streaming Day of the Tentacle as point-and-click Saturdays.
Oh.
Where, Saturdays he streams, classic LucasArts and other such, point-and-click adventure games. And he's been having me as a guest on there because I've never played any of these games, and I'm falling in love with them.
Point-and-click adventure games are really, really fun. Like,
I didn't grow up playing point-and-click adventure games because I didn't grow up with as much of a PC gamer.
Well, there were some for PlayStation. I know, like I said, the Dracula ones were they're on Steam now, actually.
Yeah, the Dracula ones were on a lot of CD-based platforms, not just PlayStation.
The way that Dracula looks in that one, like when you see him in the dark, looks creepy as hell, including this fortune teller woman that's a vampire. Like, you see her in a dungeon and all you see is beady white eyes, and then
you sent it to me on Discord. Yes, I've seen Saba's model because I watched the first half of her debut. She's adorable and she's so expressive. Like, there's a whole hold on, let me take some Tylenol real quick.
Okay. But no, Sabo is really
There we go. Yeah, there's a whole design ethos to rigging a VTuber model that Hololive does not allow for their talent due to how they manage their brand identity. Basically, the reason that Hololive models look so comparatively stiff compared to certain VTubers like, Shy Lily or now Saba's an example. Honey Goblin explained it the best and is the one who taught me about this. With Hololive models, the management wants the models to look like perfectly on model, not distorted or scuffed at all from all angles and any movement that the talent makes when they're being tracked. And as a result, it makes their models not as like cartoonish and expressive. They look very pretty, but they're not all that expressive in their faces, especially. Whereas, like, perfect example, Saba. She's got very expressive cat ears. She's like got a very expressive face. That's because her model is rigged to allow for that kind of expressiveness by not adhering to strict on-model guidelines at all times. It's allowed to like squash and stretch and distort to allow for more range of movement in the facial features.
Yeah, Sana is very, very adorable. Very
yes, she is. And she did a karaoke stream yesterday that I missed out on.
Oh.
But it's been archived. All of her streams have been archived because she streams on YouTube. Oh boy, time to meet the girl.
Yeah.
Oh, and time to see her where the censorship mod comes in.
Oh right, yeah, the crystal,
the crystal demon.
Yep, the desire demon.
Oh.
Very cool animation ability, but
okay, I forgot to install it. God damn.
Well, guys, there you go. You wanted tits on stream. Guess what? There you go.
Here's the thing. Twitch allows it if it's natively part of the game. And if you don't, like, stop the game to focus exclusively on that.
Well, yeah, fair. But again, I'm just saying, there you go.
That's how they allow games like God of War that are full of titties to be streamed. I say God of War, old school God of War. New school God of War doesn't have that. Because they realized you can. They realized you can be mature without shoving gore and tits in your face every 5 seconds.
Well, yeah. Oh, there's the other Castlevania 4 music. Yeah. This is the one I was thinking of. Yeah, the Waterfall Palace.
Okay, yeah, this is in the Agartha stage.
Yeah, this is the underground water area where you the boss of that was a 2-headed Hydra.
Okay, I know which level you're talking about now, because that is the level I got up to on my playthrough. Because I was playing I wasn't playing on the Anniversary Collection because I've noticed, like, as is the case with most emulation, there's a little bit of input lag. But I have a Super Nintendo and a flash card and a RetroTIC upscaler, so I'm able to play Super Castlevania 4 as I was going to say as Igarashi intended, but he didn't work on that one.
Yeah, but no, like the music
as Neptune. I was going to say as Neptune intended, but no, she's Sega, so as Blanc intended.
Okay, fair enough. But no, I forgot what the music track was called, but it is a very good music piece. It is creepy. It is very it has a lot of ambiance. And it matches the theme of the area so well.
Now that I think about it more, technically there is a Konami character stand-in for Hyperdimension Neptunia, like a character who's supposed to represent all of Konami. So it wouldn't even be, in this case, it wouldn't be as Blanc intended, it would be as Keisha intended. I keep forgetting about Gold Third because I think they only appeared in one game. Like, Gold Third is like... They're in a later Neptunia game called Hyperdimension Neptunia V2, often misconstrued as 7, but no, it's V2. It's just written weird. Like, you would think it's a Roman numeral 7, but no, it's V2. But, like, sort of arc villains for part of it, even though they turn out to not really be villains. They're just more so, like, out of their depth and being kind of manipulated, is Gold Third, which are, like, they overthrow the CPUs and become the new leaders of each of the nations. And they're all modeled after but not directly named after, so they can market them, unlike a lot of the other company stand-ins. Specific video game companies, like publishers instead of console manufacturers. So you have Seisha for Capcom, you have Keisha for Konami, you have Escha for Square Enix, and you have Bisha for Bandai.
Huh.
Well, Bandai Namco. And all of their stories reference all their designs and stories reference not only, like, franchises that they're known for, like Seisha's design is very heavily inspired by Jill Valentine from the original Resident Evil. While like certain backstories that they have, or what little we get to see of their backstories, are inspired by stuff from the company history. Like Escha used to be 2 separate beings that merged into one to save the life of, they used to be 2 separate beings, Escha and Isha, and Isha gave her life force to Escha to save her from dying, mirroring how Enix merged with Square to save Square from going out of business.
Yeah, I was gonna say, in Hyperdimension Neptunia, there was only one character in that series that is overpowered and scares me, and that's Broccoli.
It's my name's not Puchiko, it's Broccoli New.
Broccoli is overpowered. She's on the same level as Cream the Rabbit in terms of power and god-slaying ability. You can't change my mind.
Apparently, I didn't know this, but the reason that Neptune keeps calling her Puchiko is because she's designed to look exactly like a character named Puchiko from an anime called Digicharet.
Ah, okay.
And shares a voice actress with her in Japanese.
Give me a second, I'm gonna use the bathroom real quick.
Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're not actually gonna keep counting, but when he comes back, we'll make up a number. Or I will.
Yeah. That's...
But yes, I got 2 spiders. I got 2 pet spiders today and already had to put them down. I got a pet warg today and had to put him down. I got a pet troll today and had to put him down.
Why did you put a troll down? Why didn't you take a pet troll to pet?
To paraphrase Scott the Woz, or to reference Scott the Woz, but put my own spin on it, 4 pets have died today and my teeth hurt.
See, I'm also working on another creature of the night for to basically fill out the world of the castle inhabits.
Okay. If you ever decide you want to make some succubus designs, I could show you what... There's one succubus we come across in the Lords of Shadow saga, and she has a very specific design.
It's funny you should mention succubus, because I actually am working on... I already designed a succubus based off of a character from Hell of a Boss, So I'm just kind of making a few alterations to her as it is, just to,
Okay.
you know...
Basically, like, unlike your traditional mainline Castlevania succubi, and unlike what you would expect from Lords of Shadow, because it started out... she appears in Mirror of Fate, which was originally a 3DS exclusive, and as such couldn't have, you know, big bouncing honka-donka-badonkas everywhere.
Yeah.
So instead, she's dressed in, like, a gold bikini.
Okay.
Like gold bikini is in like made of metal, not like gold fabric.
Yeah.
And she has like this sort of like headdress on her head.
Okay.
She's very strange looking in terms of succubus designs for Castlevania, but I like her. She's a better succubus design than the one we get in DMC Devil May Cry, which is just not a succubus. It's the Slurm Queen from Futurama.
Must save the Slurm Queen!
Like, the more succubus-like character in DMC Devil May Cry that is canonically not a succubus is Lilith. It's weird that they have a character named Lilith who is very sexualized and is a sex object to the main villain, and she's not a succubus. She's just a demon. And the succubus is instead this big slug-like thing.
Aye.
Look, DMC Devil May Cry, I will defend some aspects of it now that, you know, it's no longer the future of the franchise.
Right.
And that I've had some time to appreciate it for what it is, but it has some dog shit monster designs.
Yeah. I think he's back.
128,511, 128,512, 128,513, 128,514, 128,515, 128,516, 128,517, 128,918, 128,519. Yeah, he's back.
I said hello.
Yes. We were just counting how many seconds you were gone, since you said you would be gone a second.
Ha ha.
You weren't actually gone that many seconds. Or maybe you were. I stopped counting after, like, 9. Because nobody said there'd be math. I blame our schools.
Well, math is the root of all evil.
I would say money is, but math and money are intrinsically linked.
Math has a crucial part in money.
Look, math is just a tool of the capitalist overlords.
But we should escape to the one place that hasn't been corrupted by capitalism.
Actually, space. Yeah, you can't escape to space to escape capitalism anymore. Not thanks, thanks to Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos.
Fucking A.
So even space has been corrupted by capitalism.
Well, Tim Curry, for as long as you've been up there, I hate to say it, you're kind of screwed, bud.
Yeah, everywhere has been corrupted by capitalism now. Except, I can think of a place that hasn't been corrupted yet, because it claims the lives of all the capitalist overlords that tried to claim it.
Oh.
The deep, dark underbelly of the ocean.
Ah, yes.
Remember, the last time that the capitalists tried to explore the deep, dark parts of the ocean, they got squished to death.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, didn't they also get eaten by a giant fish in Davy Jones' locker?
I mean, it depends on which Davy Jones locker you're talking about. The Davy Jones locker I'm most familiar with is the one from SpongeBob, where we finally did get to see not just the locker, but Davy Jones himself.
Yeah, but the fish I'm talking about is good old Lord Fuck.
I haven't. That's Banjo-Tooie, right?
Yep.
Haven't played Banjo-Tooie.
Very involved game.
Did you know that Lord Wu Fak is named in reference to a member of Rare at the time who had a tendency to go off on swear-filled tirades whenever something went wrong?
Well, the fact that also a lot of the enemies are referenced by Rare employees.
Yeah. Fun fact: the Great Mighty Pooh is inspired by an incident where someone clogged up a toilet with a giant Great Mighty Pooh. I'm not making that up.
I know.
I would have lived in eternity if you had, without knowing that, and I would have been happy.
Yeah, but now you know it. And knowing is half the battle. The other half is trauma induced by the horrors of war.
I mean, isn't that what painful existence is nowadays?
G.I. Joe.
And the Transformers. They did it too.
Yeah, but everyone references the G.I. Joe once because of the Fensler films parodies.
Yeah.
So I guess you're fighting, what are you fighting?
I'm fighting a warg so I can tame it, so I can cross this gap. This is the stage where I always forget where you're supposed to go, because there's so many branching pathways.
How many chapters,
I'm still in the same this is still chapter 2. But I'm still in the same stage that we were in before.
Right, I was going to say, I forgot there were a lot of sub-chapters in this. Then again, I went by stage, then block, so...
Yeah, it's like each chapter has multiple stages in it.
Chapter 2, verse 1.
Yeah, this is like stage 4, I think, of chapter 2.
Okay.
Let me check. Oh, it doesn't say which stage number it is. It just says Agartha. It just says Agartha.
It's Agartha!
Well, just like Sparta, this is a dead civilization.
Fair.
And when I refer to a dead civilization and say Sparta, I'm not talking about, Greece. I'm talking about Sparta, Georgia.
Rar to you too.
Yep, now I'm riding a troll. I never named the wargs because you don't name something that you're going to have to part ways with, especially dogs. I don't name ones that I'm not going to keep because then I'll get attached and then I'll feel sad.
Fair enough.
But one of the spiders.
Look, I never said
George and George II.
You're really gonna rub salt in that fresh open wound?
George had a family. He had 12 kids.
He never met any of them, but still, he had 12 kids.
He was going to start a company called Apple, which was going to kick off in about like 900 years. But
yeah, he was going to start a fruit company called Apple.
And I'm writing this down as lore now.
Remember, everything is canon. as far as my lore goes. Especially if it contradicts, it's canon.
Look. At this point, the world that we live in this exact space, like this whole timeline here, everything is canon at this point. We literally had
the fact that the IRL world is so bizarre on a daily basis is proof that even my self-contradictory, made-up on the spot lore is not out of the realm of possibility of something that could genuinely happen.
We literally had a Pokemon known as Furret come into your mansion, my dude.
Yes,
anything's possible at this point.
I mean, hell, I'm a sentient bomb, or maybe I'm an eldritch being trapped in another dimension, and the bomb is a portal. You never know.
I mean, you're not wrong. I mean, I know of a sentient cabbage.
Speaking of sentient bombs, I know a sentient bomb.
Yeah, you're talking to one.
Let me guess. His name is Bob.
I have, sometimes I still hear his voice. It's like he's still here with us.
Hardy har har har.
Wow.
He's not dead or anything. I'm just pretending he's not here.
Fuck you, Ari.
Fuck me yourself, coward.
I'm not interested, thank you very much.
Well, you're the one who demanded you're the one who initiated the fucking. And now you're backing out of it? To be fair, everyone is allowed to back out of something if they're having second thoughts. You shouldn't be forced to commit to giving consent to something if you've changed your mind about it. But at the same time, you're the one who initiated this whole dealio, and you gotta man up and take responsibility for it. I would say grow some balls, but you're already a ball, so.
I swear.
Was the bonk for the overextended gag, or because I ended it with a shitty pun?
I was gonna say, if you piss him off enough, you're gonna blow. If you piss him off enough, you're gonna have a hole in your wall.
Say that, Niko.
Are you saying that you want him to blow me? Because I mean, like, we can't do that on stream.
What bomb does?
It depends on what kind of bomb it is. I've seen some bombshells that are certainly a different kind of.
About the succubi.
There, you got what you wanted. You got JKR to blow me.
This is what happens. This is what happens, Niko. You have to understand.
You forget I live with a baby drag. Breaks the fourth
you
wall.
forget that I've known Niko for longer than I've known you.
I'm well aware you've known him longer than
So if anything, so he's very aware of how I can and will twist people's words on them at the quickest opportunity, just to make a shitty joke at their expense.
Plus the fact that the pet baby dragon outside likes to pull random shit out of anywhere. Guess what? That explosion, yeah, it hurt, but I'm still living.
And that your wife does the same thing as me with taking your words out of context to make jokes at your expense.
I'm gonna be honest, between my wife and you, I'm the adult in this conversation.
I mean, we have joked before that we're basically a throuple.
Now I know how Trevor Belmont feels. Ancestor Y.
Dad, this is my boyfriend Trevor, and this is Trevor's boyfriend Alucard.
So what do you say? Should I just tell her mom, this is my husband Niko, and this is Niko's husband Arikado?
Yes.
God damn it. Oddly enough, I see that fucking happening. Okay. Well then.
No context for any of it, just saying that whether it's true or not. Just to make you squirm.
I'm already used to it at this point. Is your troll even winning?
No, that was the ward climbing up the vines. And now we meet the girl, whose name I forgot. Because Claudia, that's her name.
Wait.
I'm trying to remember who Claudia is.
The Agarthan woman who speaks telepathically and has the Black Knight as her card.
Oh, right. Forgot about that.
She's such a minor role in the story, and she knows that she's a minor role in this story.
I wish there was more about her, to be fair, because
there's codex entries that delve into stuff about her, but like you never get to see any of that on screen, and she's like she seems like she could be an interesting character, but she just for justified reasons for how it plays out. She can't stay around. She can't stay around, and she knows that. But like, honestly, it's like, this would have been cool if she stayed around a bit longer.
Honestly, in my opinion, if they ever like this is like an idea I would probably have for this. Like if she was like a Maria-esque character, I could see her Black Knight being like a crucial part in her gameplay if she ever was a playable character.
Yeah. Instead, the Black Knight serves as a means to an end to get a piece of equipment.
Yeah, pretty much. Like, again, like, she would be, like, the perfect Lords of Shadow equivalent to Maria in this sense, in terms of, like, mechanics.
Plus, she's so acrobatic. That's something you would expect from Maria.
Yeah, that plus she has all these guardians and possibly magic. It would be an interesting way to go through Lords of Shadow instead of being like, hey, we're going to give you, like, a super hard mode.
Yeah.
Honestly, I would love to see her and the Black Knight punch the living hell out of Reiko.
I want to see her and the Black Knight punch the hell out of the final boss.
Yeah.
Without spoiling who the final boss is for people that aren't familiar with Lords of Shadow. JKR knows, but, for the audience.
Yeah. And in my opinion, this is my favorite rendition of the final boss in this game.
Yeah, his reappearance in Lords of Shadow 2 is very underwhelming in every aspect.
That and the fight is just pathetic. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Surely she could not have
but, excellent performance by his voice actor, who I would like. If I were to get to meet his voice actor, he's mostly known for his involvement with a specific famous film franchise. I would be the one person in the line that would be like, hi, I loved your portrayal of this character who I shall not name right now in Castlevania Lords of Shadow.
Yeah, I think it's like Isaac something.
Jason Isaacs.
Yeah, Jason Isaacs.
Honestly,
didn't Jason Isaacs also play Lucius Malfoy or something?
Yes, that's what I'm talking about. He was Lucius Malfoy in Harry Potter. I was trying not to be too specific about naming the actor because, you could just look up Jason Isaacs, Castlevania, and then you would see who he plays, and it'd be like, oh, that's the final boss.
Oh, sorry.
But, fair enough.
Sorry about that.
I just implore people to not look up the cast of this game until after we have gotten through the main story.
That is my bad. I did not know about that.
No. Voice actor names is fine, just not the roles they play.
Yeah, I mean...
Other than, Patrick Stewart as Zobek, or Robert Carlyle as Gabriel Belmont. Because, they're all throughout the game. But you were saying, JKR?
Yeah, I was saying that I had an opportunity. Well, actually, I thought I would have the opportunity to do this, but I didn't, unfortunately. I wanted to get his autograph because he's not only he's not only Lucius Malfoy, but he's also He's the voice of Ra's al Ghul in one of my favorite direct-to-video Batman movies, Under the Red Hood. And he's also the voice of the Grand Inquisitor in Star Wars Rebels.
Okay.
And, for a time, I think we actually... Ari, I think you and I actually thought he would make a good voice for The Fallen.
Yes, we've talked about that before, and that was the impetus for me showing you the cutscene where he plays this character without me knowing I was going to stream Lords of Shadow. This was years ago.
Yes, this was almost a decade, I think.
This was pre-Arikado days.
Yeah, pre-pandemic even.
Yeah, pre-pandemic.
You have friends. Oh, look, they want to play. By the way, if I'm talking way too much, I apologize.
No. I like that you're talking a lot. It keeps us from having too many moments of dead air.
Oh.
I encourage people to talk a lot.
You were saying, JKR?
No, it's fine. I was just saying, it's like, usually the issue is, whenever I try to talk, somebody, a certain vamp elf, likes to interrupt me.
I don't like to. I just happen. I don't like to. I just enjoy it. And yes, that is in fact what we call a distinction without a difference.
Also, another thing, a few years ago, before I lost my vision, I was watching some cosplay chess videos, and there was one, I forgot what year of convention. They did a Gabriel there was what was it? It was a performance. And
so it was for the cosplay competition, the masquerade.
Pretty much, yeah. It's basically like it was monsters versus like hunters/humans.
Yeah.
And they had like all kinds of people like Wesker, Chris and Jill, Gabriel Belmont, and all that. The Gabriel Belmont one, they had him go up against Baraka, but the one that was the most impressive one was when he fought both Mature and Vice. Because he actually used a whip, and when you heard like the cracking or whatever, like it was so well choreographed. It was very well choreographed. Thank you. I can't English. It was so well choreographed that it was very impressive. Like the guy did a very good job, and just the whole thing looked amazing. He even they even staged it where like the guy jumped off the stage and took I think either Mature or Vice and did like a wrestling move or whatever.
By the way,
say
hello to George III. By the time we're through with this, we will hopefully have enough Georges to officially plagiarize another vampire lord, in this case more of a vampire lady, one of Rachel Alucard's pets, George the 13th.
Yep. Also, just make sure that none of them are female, because if that's the case, the abdomens can explode and baby spiders will form.
Well, no, the abdomens are exploding and no babies are coming out. So either they're not.
I'm talking about the previous two corpses that we buried outside your castle, or at least my dragon did.
I didn't bury them. I just left them there.
Yes, and Smokey was trying to bury them so they don't explode into baby spiders.
So what you're saying is now, if there are baby spiders, they are now trapped underground where they will suffocate to death.
Normally, yes, unless these spiders have magic and or are a massive demon.
They're not massive, they're babies.
Do you know how big a giant spider demon baby is?
smaller than a giant spider adult. So
a little bit bigger than a full-grown Sydney funnel web.
Timo's back and says, unless they're trap spiders and live like that.
Yep, that's fair. That's fair. Honestly, getting you a trapdoor spider for your castle would be really interesting, because at least you can keep away intruders.
Yeah, the problem is, it wouldn't keep me away.
You'd probably make friends with it.
No, the problem is, I just launch myself into the castle.
You just use the power of explosions to launch yourself through the air.
Pretty much, and if I'm lucky, I'll land through the skylight.
I either use the front door or I just use the front door. I don't even think I use my whip to swing on the sides of the castle to get in through the window.
Yeah, you just go in through the front door. You have to find your way through it, though, because, you know, as a creature of chaos, the castle does like to change up its layout every now and then.
Yeah, speaking of which, the one time I tried to find a bathroom in this place, I ended up finding two of your succubi in the bath as well. Your castle likes to play a lot of cheap tricks here.
Did you at least ask if you could join them before doing anything?
I just slowly closed the door. I went to go find another bathroom.
You didn't even apologize?
I did apologize. Again, I'm a married...
See, even Claudia is telling you to not incriminate yourself further.
The crystals can be...
Oh my god. Yes, they are very powerful.
all over the place. I often go in search of them.
How can I hear your voice?
I often go and search for them because I find the demon attractive.
Can we talk about how this whole thing of, like, I have the gift and I can read minds, it's like, they never explain in dialogue, but they probably explain it in codex entries about, like, okay, so you have the gift. Question. The fuck is the gift?
Yeah, I don't even know what the gift is, but I'm assuming it's more along the line she was born with a more sensitive attunement to like supernatural and like spiritual. So, I mean, it's not a specific gift, but I think that's also the reason why
they capitalize it, which means that it's a proper noun.
Yeah.
Which means that this is a specific gift, not just, you know, a gift that she has.
You're also questioning Kojima at this point.
Well, Kojima didn't write the story. He was an executive producer on this game to help guide the development team and to help put some eyes on it by making people think that it was a Hideo Kojima game.
No.
Actually, now that I think of it, how would this game be if it was an EGA?
You need me. You need him.
I mean, if it was an EGA game, then it wouldn't have been this at all. It would have been that 3D Alucard game that we got a teaser trailer for in like 2007 and then never heard a peep of again.
Yeah, I remember. Part of me like just they reused that for like Symphony of the Night for the 360 port.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I have the link for that saved. I'm glad someone else outside of me and Nico and Lulu knows what I'm talking about. I was so mad when I find out. Yeah. And in response to Timo saying, "Oh, you know the gift?" Yeah, you know the gift. Where'd it come from? It came from the hole.
What kind of hole, my good sir? The bat hole? The what hole? I don't know.
I would prefer if you do not use the term bat hole around me, given that I'm part vampire.
What about the spider hole?
You know, it came from the hole.
It just came from the hole. Okay, then. What hole, though? There's like 6 different types of holes. Smokey's still making holes in your front lawn.
It came from the hole.
The hole.
What? It came from the hole. What else? What else came out of the hole? Oh, you know, the orb. The orb. What's the orb? It's the orb. Where'd the orb come from? Came from the hole.
Get from the hole.
I'm more worried about the space octopus.
Yeah.
Excuse you?
Look, there's no time to explain.
Why are we bringing Space Cthulhu into this?
No, not Space Cthulhu, the Space Octopus.
Somehow, and it seems Gabriel has
If anything, Cthulhu's less of an octopus and more of a nautilus.
The golem that protects the girl.
Or maybe like not a nautilus, because that has a shell. More of a oh god, what are they called? Cuttlefish.
Speaking of which, don't you have like a mind flayer like roaming around here?
Yeah, that's Steve. You don't know about Steve?
I know about Steve. I just gotta tell the sentient purple cabbage to stay away because apparently she's into mind flayers.
Oh, so she'd get along great with Haruka from Vshoujo then. Given that Haruka, famously in her Baldur's Gate 3 playthrough, romanced the Emperor Mind Flayer.
Look, the purple cabbage.
By complete accident.
Look, the purple cabbage. My friend who's a sentient purple cabbage is attracted to a D20 that is voiced by Matt Mercer and a dryer that is voiced by Estinion. And I am not giving you context for this.
Hold on, we've seen trolls, we've seen goblins, we haven't seen any gremlins. And I don't think we do see any gremlins throughout Lords of Shadow.
I think you do during the castle segment.
Do we see gremlins? I don't remember seeing it. Well, it depends on what. It depends on what
the Fleemans. The Fleemans are sort of gremlin-like.
Well, it depends on like, first of all, did you feed them after midnight? And second of all, did you get them wet?
JKR?
Don't look at me. It's not my job to feed them after midnight.
You're not supposed to feed them after midnight.
Feed them after midnight.
Well, don't worry, I did.
He couldn't feed them after midnight. He doesn't have hands to feed them with.
Unless they somehow got out and went to the 7-Eleven.
Now the question is, after midnight, which time zone? The answer is yes.
Oh god.
The whole thing is like,
the whole thing of after midnight just doesn't work as a rule, because the more you think about it, it's like technically everything is always after midnight, since midnight is the beginning of the next day.
Pretty much, yeah.
I say all this as someone who's never seen Gremlins.
I've seen the first Gremlins, and I'm gonna say this right. Dumb and hilarious, but it's just why.
I've never seen Gremlins, but you know what I have seen? Hard Rock Zombies. Completely unrelated, but I've seen it. I have it on DVD. It's a terrible movie, but it's one-of-a-kind terrible movie.
Fair enough.
It's that, like, the more weird, sort of tongue-in-cheek, cheesy comedic aspects of it made more sense years later when I found out that the director of it was Indian and had worked in Bollywood.
Oh.
But moved to America and decided to make, like, a Bollywood-ish zombie movie with a hard rock band in it that plays the softest hard rock I've ever heard. It also has one of the most disturbing yet hilarious subplots that keeps cutting back to, that has nothing to do with the goings-on of the story, which is a deformed dwarf Nazi zombie slowly devouring himself at a restaurant.
Look, at least it was a Nazi zombie and not a Nazi werewolf.
Oh, there is a Nazi werewolf in there.
I'm sorry, what?
Yeah, the plot is instigated by, like, you know, the band. It's got, like, the rock band that's touring, and they're going to perform at a local place called the Grand Guignol. and they stay at the old creepy mansion with the elderly couple that seem kind of off, and then it turns out that the patriarch of the elderly family is actually Adolf Hitler, and that the grandmother of the family is Eva Braun, who is also a werewolf for reasons unexplained.
Oh, jeez.
Well then.
It sounds like I'm describing, like, multiple different movies, but no, this is all one movie. Like, where do the zombies come into it? They have nothing to do with, well, technically it's instigated by the Hitler family killing the rock band, and then a recording of them playing a song that they found in the Necronomicon that reanimates the dead brings them back to life as zombies. Like, I'm making this sound like the best movie ever. I assure you it's not.
Don't worry. That doesn't sound like it.
Now, if you want the best so bad it's good rock horror movie ever, look up Rock and Roll Nightmare.
Remember, we still need...
I'm not going to spoil how it plays out, but I will say it is one of the most self-indulgent vanity projects I've ever heard of for a band that nobody has ever heard about. That band in question being the Canadian hair metal band Thor.
Who?
Exactly.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, we hear you.
Sorry, my mic cut out again. Shit, it's fine. But no, I was gonna say, Claudia said you had 3 more shards. Ned, you had to find way.
You're cutting out every other syllable.
Yeah.
Okay, I've got 2 of the shards.
Testing.
Okay, I can hear you.
Testing.
I was gonna say you have 2 shards left to find. Yet Kirby had to find way more to get the true ending in 64.
Yes, because there were how many crystal shards? Let me guess, 64.
Probably 60. If things like between.
I've never played Kirby 64: The Crystal Shards, but I'm guessing. You know, just wild guess for the Nintendo 64 game. It was 64, wasn't it?
I mean, it's a really fun game. I love it.
I'm not denying that. I just haven't played much of the Kirby series.
Kirby is fun. It's hard, but it's fun.
Well, I've heard that Kirby games are usually really easy.
My friend, whoever's been telling you that has been lying to you. Because there's something at the basically at the end of every Kirby game, there's something called a true arena.
Well, you know, not the end of every Kirby game. It wasn't introduced until, what was it, Superstar?
Remember, we still need 2...
If you're talking, we can't hear you. There we go, now I can hear you.
Well, I wasn't talking.
Oh, okay.
I was gonna say Kirby Adventure had a true arena. No, Kirby Game Boy had a true too. The very first game did.
That wasn't a true arena. That was a hard mode second playthrough. That's the one I've actually beaten. Well, I haven't beaten the hard mode second playthrough, but you know, the first Kirby game was designed to be easy for like little kids.
Yeah.
How can I help you, King DDD?
I need a monster to get that there Kirby!
Oh yeah!
That's what we do best at NME.
You better get it with the money back guarantee!
Okay, real talk, that show I actually did like. I liked Meta Knight in that one.
Can we talk about how, like, that was the rare 4Kids dub that was better than the Japanese version?
There was one part where they were dubbing thing called DDD of the Stars or whatever.
Oh yeah, the episode where they make their own cartoon. That one got a reanimated collab that was great.
This is stupid. Meta Knight's like, wow, this is stupid.
Yeah. I don't know why they decided that Meta Knight, the knight character who's very much played up in the games to be almost like a Batman-ish character. They decided, he should sound like Zorro. But I love that they did.
The fact that they also kicked DDD's car down a hill. He's just like... I'm sorry, but Kirby Right Back At You was very fucking good.
It also had one of the best dub theme songs ever.
Pretty much.
Like, forget the Pokemon theme song. Kirby Right Back At You has the catchier theme song.
Yeah.
And it's 90% just Kirby.
Yep.
There was one episode from Kirby Right Back At You I watched a lot, and that was the dental.
A what?
The dental there was an episode in Kirby Right Back At You where Escargoon was getting his teeth done because he had a cavity, and DDD keeps making fun of him for it, and he's like, well, sir, if you keep doing, sir, you can get cavities too, and eventually he ends up getting one, and Escargoon is getting his payback. He's like, looks like you're gonna have to go see Dr. Yabui to get your teeth drilled. And instead of having the doctor do it, he gets a dental monster from NME or whatever, and it ends up fixing Tuft's teeth, but not DDD's. So he literally wasted billions of dollars on a monster for nothing.
Meanwhile, I'm like, you want to know one of the most cursed things to come out of Kirby Right Back At You that they had to really try and edit around in the dub? But due to the fact that the dub has never been fully released, like an all episodes release on DVD, the most readily available way to watch it is the Japanese version with the English dub placed over it. So we have the uncensored version with English voice acting.
Oh God, what?
The Japanese name of Tiff from Kirby Right Back At You.
Yeah, Tiff, I know. Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, Bouncy Tiff, or Fumu of the Stars, as she's known in the Japanese
Tiff,
version.
I'm like, oh God, I think.
Why did they put that in Kirby Right Back At You? I don't know.
They literally tried to make their own anime. That was.
I never watched a lot of Kirby Right Back At You.
Neither did I. I didn't watch a lot of. It was Foxbox at that time, and I missed out on a lot of that because, as I've said before, it came on Saturday mornings, and often on those Saturday mornings, I was with my dad, and he would not allow me to just sit back and watch Saturday morning cartoons for very long because he was the kind that was like, we have to be busy doing stuff all day, every day of the weekend.
I've watched a lot of it when I was. It was that and Sonic X that I watched.
I missed out on a lot of Sonic X for this. Sorry, I keep talking over you. I missed out on a lot of Sonic X for the same reason.
I watched a lot of it. I did see the whole series of it. I did like Cosmo in season 3. She was one of my favorites.
I know a lot of people like Cosmo and want the Cedrians to be canon.
Yeah, it's just like her character is very good. I like
and
her.
People want the Metarex to be canon as well.
The Metarex were a very interesting concept, especially since Dark Supersonic came from that.
It's weird that, like, for how mid to bad Sonic X is for most of its run, Season 3 is where they stopped trying to adapt the game's plots, and as a result, it started getting good.
Yeah. Also, the funny thing about Dark Supersonic, Eggman is the one that talks Sonic down.
Also, did you know that we finally got a conclusive answer to what the whole, like, Nazo mystery from the pitch video for Sonic X was?
Yeah.
You know, this mysterious character.
It's basically just it's basically Supersonic from Sonic X, a different color.
Yeah. The only reason it was called Nazo was because the file that was going around was titled nazo.jpg. And it led to people thinking, oh, it's this mysterious character that was cut from the show named Nazo. And it led to, like, all these fan works about who he could possibly be, making him out to be, like, basically an evil Supersonic. And it turns out, it was just, like, a different colored Supersonic that never made it into the show.
Yeah, but apparently it made it into fan universes and AU.
Yeah, it inspired so much fan work when it turns out, it wasn't even a separate character. It was just Supersonic. But a different color and slightly different design. They did, like, it was because they didn't have finalized character sheets for everyone yet, so...
I know one thing about Sonic X, people did not like Chris Thorndike a lot.
No one likes Chris Thorndike because they tried to make him, like, the relatable self-insert kid appeal character, but he's not relatable because his problems are not relatable. Because, like, they tried to do, like, the whole, his parents are so neglectful, even if they're trying their best, but, like, no, they're still around for him a lot. He's just a whiny, entitled bitch.
Yeah. Also, the fact that they had the whole fighting tournament, the whole fight between Tails and Rouge, I call bullshit.
Have you seen Eggman's final interaction with Rouge in the first two-season run of Sonic X, which is what aired in Japan? Japan didn't get season 3. I
don't think I remember that.
In the Japanese version, it plays out a bit differently, where it's like Rouge is, mourning the loss of Shadow and all that. And, like, Eggman's like, don't you worry, I bet Shadow's out there somewhere. He's a creation of my grandfather. He's not going to go down that easy. And it's like, this kind of sweet moment between Eggman and Rouge of all... Like, from Eggman of all people.
Eggman even though Eggman is a villain, he does care.
We haven't gotten to the punchline yet.
Okay. Sorry.
After that, like, Rouge, she looks up at him kind of like, is this really Eggman who's saying this? And then he's just like, say, I just noticed, you've got huge boobs. And then she just slaps him and the scene is over.
All I gotta say is, Eggman, although Eggman, he is a villain, and all that, he does show care for the other characters.
Yeah, he's a villain, but he's not heartless.
Yeah, I mean, that's also one of the reasons why he talks down Sonic when he's Dark Supersonic, because he's like, this is not you, Sonic. Trust me, the Hedgehog I know that I want to beat isn't like this. And it manages to talk him down because he used the fake Chaos Emeralds or something, I forgot, or the negative parts of the Chaos Emeralds to become it.
The only time outside of Sonic Adventure 1 and Sonic X's adaptation of Sonic Adventure 1 that the whole negative energy of the Chaos Emeralds thing is brought up again.
Yeah. I mean, still though, I gotta give props to Eggman. He's the only one. Rouge. He's the only thing about Rouge.
He's the only one who was brave enough to say what we've all been thinking since 2001.
We thank you, Eggman, for your sacrifice. You doing okay, JKR?
Yeah, I just repositioning myself.
We're about to end streaming in a little bit because it's about 11:30 and we've been going for about 3.5 hours.
So 11:30. So it's 11:30 your time.
Yeah,
that makes it about 10:30 our time, Nico.
Okay, I'm just trying to understand because again, time zones confuse me.
No worries.
Imagine believing in time. Time is just a conspiracy by the clock industry to sell clocks.
I know of a guy that walks around time, and even he gets.
But yeah, just for future reference, Niko, Ari did this to me around New Year's one year actually.
Yeah, and if we are to message or talk to each other on New Year's, it is going to be the New Year an hour earlier where I live than where you are, which means I live in the future.
By one whole hour, whereas Japan is like one whole day.
Yes. See, there's a sliding scale of the future, depending on where you live. That's why the international date line is a thing. You know, people make time travel seem really difficult and like this thing that nobody can accomplish, and it's like, I can travel back and forth in time. All I have to do is take a flight between different time zones. It's not that hard, guys.
But then you're going to have all those people that are going to be like, that's not how it works.
It is technically time travel. I am technically correct. The best kind of correct.
Question for you, Ari. The creatures that would inhabit the surrounding area of the castle, would those? I think technically those would go into fan arts, as they are actually, you know.
Yes, they would. If they're related to my lore, then yes, that would go in fan art.
I gotcha. I just want to be sure, you know.
I get you. You're being respectful of how I have things organized.
Yes.
That is where we're going to end things tonight. When we come back to this on Wednesday, we'll be fighting our second Titan.
Yep.
The Earth Titan.
Oh, so Metroplex. Gotcha.
I mean,
well, Metroplex wasn't always... depending on the continuity, Metroplex wasn't always on Earth.
That's true.
I mean, to be fair, JKR, we could always throw you at the Earth Titan. You can just...
I mean, yeah, the Earth Titan fight does involve throwing stuff at it. We are going to raid Oizy, who is a friend of the channel, and a friend of Kier, and this will be the first time I've been able to raid him. They are playing Naruto Powerful Shippuden.
Ooh,
which
nice.
Appears to be a DS or 3DS game based on the dual screen setup.
It's probably a DS game, I think.
Anyways, thank you everyone for tuning. Sorry.
Go ahead, sorry. You first.
Thank you everyone for tuning in. Thank you to my co-host for joining me tonight. I'll see you guys on Wednesday with more of Lords of Shadow. Go give Oizy my warmest welcomes, and until then, unpleasant dreams.
Safe hunting, everybody.
Well, we're the boys of chorus. We hope you like our show. We know you're rooting for us, but now we have to go. The raid hasn't even started yet.
Yeah, I know. I can't.
I guess I might as well check on the spider corpses to make sure they haven't exploded yet.
I guess he's not allowing raids. I think.
Oh.
I think? I don't know. I click raid, start raid, and it just gives me a nuh-uh.
I mean,
okay. In that case, we're raiding Mistress Dove, who is playing Kingdom Hearts 3.
Nice.
We're not doing the outro song again, so I will say good night, everybody.
Yes, get the fuck out of here.
I think one of your spiders exploded.
Okay, it's just not letting me raid anybody.
What the?
Okay, no, here we go. Good night, everybody.
See you.